Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents Doug.
Breathe out and repeat after me. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Your bird is eating my candles.
Your bird is eating my candles.
No, seriously, he's making a mess.
No, seriously.
Liberty. Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
ADOT presents Terrifying Jobs.
Bull Rider, take two.
Today we're talking with Clifford Maxwell, a rodeo bullfighter. His job? Distract raging bulls from going after thrown riders. Cliff, this seems like a really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get bucked up.
How big are these bulls?
12 to 2200. Distracted drivers terrify me.
This message is brought to you by ADOT, the ABA, and this station.
Think for a moment about how much time you spend planning your vacation. Now, think about how much time you spend planning for retirement. Maybe it's time to change your focus. Maybe it's time to take a trip.
I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. My team of certified financial planners uses a target retirement income planning model, or TRIP. TRIP is an important tool which we use to evaluate investment strategies and lifetime income products. Then we use that information to determine the best strategy that could provide you with the financial security you seek and the peace of mind you deserve. Call Compact Asset Management at 1-800-388-9700 for your comprehensive, customized TRIP report with specific recommendations designed just for you. Call 1-800-388-9700. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services member, FINRA SIPC.
If you're rolling over your 401k to an IRA soon, but not sure if you want to go all in on this crazy market, here's what many retiring professionals are doing. How about a safe and secure IRA offering a contractually guaranteed 10% income bonus that grows 7% annually guaranteed? Your income can double in 10 years. Meanwhile, neither your principal nor your retirement income is ever subjected to a market downturn. Even if the market crashes by 50%, you get the 10% bonus. Your income keeps growing at 7%, and your principal may grow without losses uncapped. You go up with the index, never down, forward, never back. Get a 10% income bonus with a 7% contractually guaranteed growth rate. I compare over 1,200 annuities with a fiduciary duty and can help you retire and stay retired.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
KQFN AM Tempe, K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM, K240 EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Mornings are better with Wake Up Call with Tony and Ron. Weekday mornings on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now, 3.
Let's do it. All right, everybody, it's Wednesday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. He's taking another day off, I guess. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Everything okay in there?
Yeah.
You're just making weird faces.
No, it was I figured something out.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's all good now. For
Mike?
for 5 seconds, I could only hear in one side of my.
Oh, I see. So the microphones are fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, the microphones are fine. Everything's fine. It was just my headphones that needed some help.
Okay, because we did some rewiring in here today, and so when you made that face, I started getting nervous. So everything's good.
All good.
All right.
All quiet on the Western Front.
Jesus. All right. So we're broadcasting live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale, and Navy Brad is first up on the text line. Says, "Happy Wednesday, everybody! What a great Stanley Cup final." He says, "I was close with my prediction." Let's see here. Scrolling up to see what your prediction was. You said Vegas 6, Panthers 1. Dude, you're way off. You were right about a ass whooping, but 9-3 is not so close to 61. You know, Navy Brad, If you'd have said 9-2 or 8-3, that's close.
Or if you had predicted the goal differential, I guess you'd be closer than.
Well, now you're just getting really picky.
But three more goals than 6 is a lot of goals, man.
It was a lot of damn goals. Listen, we're going to get to that in a second. Today, by the way, is Flag Day. In case you're wondering why all the flags are out. Today is Flag Day, but it's also National Bourbon Day. So I can't think of any better way to celebrate Flag Day with a nice bourbon right there. So, please enjoy responsibly. So Wilbur says, happy Flag Day, boys. Now that basketball is over, looking forward to talking exclusively about Arizona Cardinals football and occasionally Diamondback baseball. Wilbur, you don't produce this show. And to be honest, nobody does. Not even me, not even Keon. Nobody does. It just happens. This is just a happening. So don't tell us how to do our thing, man. Hefty Lefty says, Keon finally believes it's not butter.
Look, it took a long time to convince me.
Yeah, I've never eaten I can't believe it's not butter and thought, oh, I can't believe that's not butter. Because I can completely believe it's not butter. Because you know why? It doesn't taste like butter. Just nasty. Hefty says, I thought Flag Day was every Bronco game last year. Oh, come on, Hefty. Come on, Hefty. It's not like the Broncos were the only ones getting bad flags. So, by the way, another thing, it just happened today. This is kind of a big deal. UPS has announced that their vehicles could soon be equipped with air conditioning.
That doesn't feel like a 2023 headline.
It really doesn't. Here's the thing. You've seen these giant brown vans driving around day in, day out, delivering packages in super duper heat. And I was just like, I couldn't do that. I just could not do that. And, you're like, well, how the hell do they do that? And, now they've said, now here's the thing, read the fine print. UPS said all of its newly purchased small package delivery vehicles will have air conditioning. Well, which one's the small package ones?
I didn't know there was a difference, to be honest with you.
I think you're going to still see a lot of unair conditioned vans driving around.
They should really fix that.
Yeah. This is, in a new contract, if the union ratifies it and all that stuff, I feel like, okay, that's a step forward, but how about you just put air conditioning in all of the trucks?
Seems like that makes the most sense. You know,
there is a man who's angry about this, and not about the fact that he does. You heard about that guy here in Phoenix, Mark Woolston? He's been delivering packages for UPS for like 50 years, all the way back to June of 1973. He's driven 1 million miles, hasn't had any accidents, been a UPS driver longer than anyone here in Arizona, and now he's retiring. And then the headline, air conditioning's coming. Son of a bitch. Now you do it? Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go play some golf and pickleball. Oh, Mark.
Well, I mean, if you're a retired guy, I don't mind pickleball being your retired guy game.
Mark.
It's just not a sport I want to see televised.
Don't call it a sport.
It's just
you're actually adding into
that's true. I'm feeding the fire there. It's I don't want to see it on TV is my point.
It's not a sport. Anyway, so yeah, UPS vehicles, some will get air conditioning, but not Mark Woolston. No, no, he won't. CK says, good afternoon, fellas. Keon, beer that man. Jeffrey, I hope you enjoy your bourbon under your Buy Pride flag this evening. When I said I was buy, what was I talking about?
Peanut butter.
Oh, that's right.
Smooth or crunchy.
Yeah.
You go both ways.
Yeah. But as far as, flying a pride flag, I'd be happy to do that. I'm not a bigot. I'm all for if you love somebody, love them, in adult reason. Because I know somebody's going to come at me.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
There's going to be someone with that nonsense. But
yeah, but I listen, I don't know why they need to wear Speedos at these parades. I don't know why they need to get oiled up. I believe you're gay. You don't have to. You don't have to get all oiled up in
there were other
banana
signs.
hammocked. I don't need that. I just trust me. I believe you. I believe you're gay. I believe you're proud of it. I don't need to see all that. I'm just saying. We don't have a hetero pride parade where women run around in dental floss, bikinis and stuff, do we? I mean, it sounds nice, doesn't it? But I don't know. I mean, I'm all for everything you guys are saying. I just don't need yeah, it's a bit much. You know, I don't need to see it oiled up and stuff. I don't know. I guess I should ask women how they feel about that.
Yeah, I suppose that would make the most sense.
They're like, well, I'm sure they're like, well, it's a pride parade. Yeah, sure, the man looks good. He's oiled up there, got the banana hammock, looking good. But I just can't. There's nothing I can do with this. When this pride parade is over, all he's going to want to do with me is go shopping. And there's, so I don't know how women feel about that. I don't understand why it has to be that. But that's just big, dumb hetero me, I guess. Navy Brad says it's also the birthday for the Army. Well, that's adorable. Hefty Lefty says my son was a Marine, so I just tossed that out. I just throw that out there. Normally, I save adorable for the Air Force. I'll be honest. Hefty Lefty says I didn't say they were unwarranted flags. They were just a terrible team. They got flagged a lot. All right, that's fair. No, that's fair. Listen, your son, my son, my youngest son, and you, both Bronco fans. You got a lot to look forward to. You really do. I think we should probably do a segment on that next week, or even tomorrow. I don't know, but we should do a segment on your team, what you have to look forward to, what you have to be miserable about. Most teams have something to look forward to. The Arizona Cardinals have something to look forward to next year's draft. And I know it sounds mean.
It does, but it's not.
But it's not. I went through this myself last year as a Colts fan, right? What do we have to look forward to? Anthony Richardson. And I gotta tell you, Keon, you get the credit. You talked me into Anthony Richardson when we were kind of talking about quarterbacks early on. We're talking 4 or 5 months before the draft. I was on him like a laser beam because of your recommendation. And then I looked at it, I was like, holy crap, he's right. And then here comes the Colts going, holy crap, Keon's right. I'm telling you could make a case for being a scout.
I mean, I do like to just watch what scouts look for in players and stuff. It's one of my favorite things to do. And leading up to the draft, and if you just watch that dude in college, like I don't think you have to be a high level scout to see how talented that guy is. It pops off the screen, the arm strength, the ability to improvise. You just go, if he could clean up that footwork and get accurate, that would be the scariest guy in the NFL. Period.
We shall see. I mean, I've had mixed reports coming out of camp. One, it says, oh man, the Colts had a horrible day on offense and practice, and then everybody else is saying, oh, Anthony Richardson's looking great. Oh, he's having fun and he's joking with reporters and stuff. And it's like, okay, so what is the truth? Is he just so happy to be there that he's going to just joke around all the time and make it seem like he's got the world on a string? Or is there something else?
Yeah, I mean, it could just be the natural ups and downs of it. I mean, there's some stuff too that you really can't tell. What is Anthony Richardson's fault and what is maybe a wide receiver that didn't run a route completely. He was supposed to go 10 yards and he ended up going in at 8. Like that throws off the timing of a lot of stuff. So
okay, so you're saying when they blame the offense, it doesn't necessarily mean the quarterback.
Yeah. So that there's going to be ups and downs. I do think it's promising that he wanted to throw with the wide receivers on his own time. And because Gardner Minshew's a veteran and he's been in the league before, Minshew's helping him organize that stuff. Like I like where he's at in terms of how hard he's willing to work.
Minshew is playing it very nicely. Minshew is being supportive. He's being a good guy, but he also knows, there's a good chance that as much fun as Anthony Richardson's having, as sharp as he looks, is cool. There's also some deficits there that may not be ready. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to help this guy. We're going to work together. He's like, this is not my team in the future, but it could be my team here for a few games now, which helps me make a case for me on another team at some point. I don't think that Gardner Minshew has a deluded idea about why he's there. So he's embraced that hardly. The one you got to look out for, throwing like a banana peel in the shower is Ellinger. that guy can't be happy at all.
And he's very competitive, so I'm sure.
Yeah,
he's got his booby trap set up in the locker room.
You got to look for trip wires. You got to look for all sorts of stuff if you're in
poisonous blow darts. I don't know. Just
it's going to be like going through Indiana Jones right there. All these little things coming out of holes in the locker room. Moist One says, finally, somebody looking out for us people with small packages. Well, who are you talking about? Wilbur says, hey, it's also Donald Trump's birthday. Pour me a double bourbon, please. Is that really true? Today's his birthday? You know what?
I didn't know, actually. Here you go.
In honor of Donald Trump's birthday, I'd probably go out and get myself some cotton candy in orange flavor. You know, a little cotton candy and orange flavor. That seems like a Donald Trump celebration right there. You know, orange flavored like creamsicle cotton candy with the woof like that.
Yeah,
Just saying.
like his hair.
Yeah. It's I'm not being mean and I'm not being positive. I'm just saying, seems like a legit candy, some orange cotton candy. Navy Brad says Cardinals are already looking forward to when the 2023 season ends. I listen, you don't know what's going to happen. You know, every game is its own story, just like I said about the Diamondbacks all those different times. But it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for the Cardinals, but it wasn't good for the Colts last year either. Why do you think I was right next to you guys in the draft? It was bad. That's why. Hefty Lefty says, which could be way worse? Which one are you talking about? He says, Jeffrey, Anthony Richardson might be Dwight Howard of the NFL. He says, which could be way worse if you're looking for a volcanic competitive nature. Dwight Howard is not the comp you want.
Well, I don't know about that. Also,
who brought up Dwight Howard?
I don't know how Dwight Howard compares to this, but if he is the Dwight Howard of the NFL, what he's going to get you to a Super Bowl before finally imploding on himself, that's not bad.
I don't know why Dwight Howard had anything to do with this.
Prime Dwight Howard was a beast, so I don't know that that's the worst thing in the world.
I don't get what you're bringing that up for. I don't know.
It's not related though.
That's
so
what I thought.
It's deeply confusing. But
Hefty Lefties, I don't know. He's being mean, is he? I don't know what's going on. So, all right. Last night, as everybody knows, this has not been Florida's year at all. You know, Florida, not good. Yeah, the Heat lost, and
specifically Miami. Those are two Miami teams that went to the finals and lost.
Florida Panthers just got their asses kicked so bad. There's a lot of, hey, we're gonna do it. You know, there's a lot of like enthusiasm and hope, and then disappointment. You know, there's just not much good going on in Florida. Not surprised. Florida has always been a crap state. You know, is a corruption in the courts. It's like a banana republic there, and not like where you buy clothes. Like, you know, if you don't know what the term banana republic means, you should probably Google that.
Just pull up the Wikipedia article on that. It'll
Banana Republic, not the store, is what you should Google. And that's Miami for you. That is Miami. And so, now Vegas just dominated. And of course, you know, now you're starting to hear the story. I guess Kachuk had a fractured sternum. Ooh, holy crap. That sounds a little bit like it hurts.
It sounds a lot of bit like it hurts. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. And he's a badass because even after he got hurt, he did come back for game 4 in excruciating pain. It was so bad that he couldn't dress himself. They had to help him get his gear on. And he gave everything he could. He did every single thing he could. And, finally on this next game, they're like, yeah, just don't.
Yeah.
This is probably not a good idea.
Like if we get eliminated and you get your sternum cracked, then that's going to be really bad long term for you. Just, you know,
people dying in sports is not good. So Kachuk had a good reason, but what can you do? Yeah, he couldn't even dress. I mean, and still he came out. That's a man card accreditation if I've ever heard one right there. So there you go. The Stanley Cup finals are over, and immediately Las Vegas center William Karlsson and his wife, they found a use for the cup, stuck his baby right in it.
That's cool.
Now you can see that on the screen there. That baby has no idea what's going on. The baby's like, what the hell is this?
What are my parents doing?
But this is why I asked you yesterday. Does somebody sterilize that thing every time somebody uses it?
Yeah, I mean,
there's a baby taking a dump in the Stanley Cup right there. You can tell by looking at. I'm a dad. I know a baby taking a dump, and that's a baby taking a dump right there, right during that picture. So yeah, William Karlsson already making use of the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, no, there's some poor guy's job it is to just schlep around the Stanley Cup everywhere and make sure it's clean and not dented and all that stuff.
That look of surprise on the baby's face isn't the cameras. He's like, I'm surprised I held it this long. He just crapped in the Stanley Cup. I'm sure worse things have happened we don't know about in the Stanley Cup. Heavy Metal Maniac says, hey, listen, I've tried orange cotton candy, and it's terrible. It always leaves a bad taste in your mouth. He says, just like 45. There you go. 888-368-1580. Hefty Lefty says, Highward was always known as a jokester, and he was pegged as a guy who couldn't be serious when it counted. It also wasn't entirely accurate. I think he meant Howard.
Yeah.
I think the I and the O might be close together. Yeah, they're right there. Heward. This is not the same guy. Fifth letter says, good afternoon, fellas. Double shot of whiskey. Yeah, give me some of that Whistle Pig in honor of my homeboy, Donnie. It's his birthday.
Here you go.
No more man boobs in the White House lawn come 2024, he says. I don't think it doesn't matter who gets elected. That person has been banned. I don't know. Somebody at an event decided to flash boobies, and then they're like, oh, dear God. Probably not doing much for the cause, if you ask me, doing that at the White House, but okay.
Yeah, probably not.
Moist One says Ekblad played at least 14 games with a broken foot. How do you even put on a skate? Just maybe the ones with a zipper? I don't know. I mean,
it's just like walking on a broken foot, running on a broken foot sucks enough, but then to balance all of that weight on a blade is ridiculous. Like I don't even know how you would begin to do that.
Hockey players are a different kind of human being. You know, I'm sure it's an offshoot of Homo sapien. You know, it's Homo puckus, I guess, is what we'll call the hockey player. The Homo puckus is a strange being who, will just keep on doing whatever they're doing, no matter what bones are being broken. They're, just good God, tough. I mean,
yeah, ridiculous. I don't know any other sport where the guys are that tough right now.
Brooks Koepka says, beer me. Brooks Koepka, part of the LIV golf thing, getting ready to be in the PGA Open. Isn't Brooks Koepka supposed to golf with Rory McIlroy? Is that what the one I said? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
So, Brooks, you should just let us know how your feelings, knowing that Rory McIlroy will probably push you in some water out there or try to lead you to an alligator or something. I don't know. It's in California. They don't have alligators there. Yeah, all I'm saying is, Brooks Koepka, you got to golf with Rory McIlroy after all the negative things, that have been said back and forth. Just curious your thoughts on that. Hefty Lefty says the NHL does not test for PCP. They never, they never feel the injuries. That's why. I don't know. Anybody out there play hockey? Are you on the PCP? Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think that's a thing. No.
The fights would never end. And the thing is, when somebody be in a fight with the goalpost, you're like, it was nothing when you saw Odell Beckham Jr. Proposing to a kicking net. What a hockey player would do to a goal. I'm not saying goalie. I'm saying the goal. It would haunt your nightmares. It would haunt your dreams. All right, we have to take a break. When we come back, got some NBA stuff. Got some baseball stuff last night. I don't even want to talk about last night, but we kind of have to. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Juice Reel, the betting intelligence tool that's making better bettors. Open the App Store and get your hands on Juice Reel. Start betting smarter. Juice, R-E-E-L. Juice Reel. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Major League Baseball tonight, the Arizona Diamondbacks home in Phoenix as they take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Ranger Suarez will start for Philadelphia, while Merrill Kelly will go for the Diamondbacks. Arizona in first place in the NL West. The Diamondbacks minus a run and a half, plus 146 on the run line. The Phillies getting a run and a half, minus 176. On the money line, Philadelphia plus 112, while Arizona is at minus 132. The over-under run total is at 8.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Remember when you could go to the doctor and actually leave feeling better? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Katz. The problem with our healthcare system is the focus on the system and not on your healthcare. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum healthcare using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men and women's health. We help people find relief when other doctors have failed. Our naturopathic doctors can restore your pain-free life using cutting-edge regenerative treatments. We can also help restore balance to your immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. Addressing your cause can also improve both mental and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working for you, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call us. We're the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, Arizona at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161 or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
If you're struggling, if you're lost, if you need someone to talk to, or if you're concerned about a loved one, call, text, or live chat the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. 988 crisis counselors are available 24/7 to listen and provide free, confidential support when you need it most.
Thank you for contacting 988. How can I help you today?
The first step to help and healing is 3 numbers away. When you reach out to 988, Hope always answers. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Department of Health.
This isn't a game of touch in the backyard.
I tore his ass up.
This isn't tossing around the ball with your friends. And it sure as hell isn't flag football.
This is the NFL. Hard-hitting, pad-smacking, body-busting football.
We've got all the primetime games in one place.
On your home for the NFL, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. I don't know. What's better? What is the better picture? Is it the picture of Jokic with his kid, winning the finals, or picture of this guy here with the baby? Which one do you think is better? William Karlsson's baby in the Stanley Cup, or Jokic's daughter with the hat on, sitting there with all the confetti.
They're both good, but I'm going to go with Karlsson. If you put your baby in the trophy.
Yeah. I think you're right. I agree on that. Although I mean, there are some other photos, spectacular, the kind of stuff you frame, and you keep that forever. But you can't beat a baby in the Stanley Cup. You just can't. Well, I mean, you can beat them, but you'll be arrested. 888-368-1580. King of Kitten says, yeah, the yellow-haired guy is the keeper of the cup who makes about $400,000 a year, American. Are you kidding me? The guy who goes around with the cup makes $400,000?
Well, then I rescind my poor guy statement. That is a very rich guy, actually.
Dear Lord.
might be a little bit insane of a job having to clean the various fluids that the Stanley Cup is going to contain. However,
I don't know if it's worth the $400,000, but damn,
$500,000. I would do it.
Yeah, I would do it for half that. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brooks Koepka says, I asked him how he felt, having to golf with Rory McIlroy, the guy who's talked a lot of, live golf smack. He says, who do you think is more intimidated? Rory. Rory is. He's toast. All right. We shall see. We shall see. Sun Devil Raul says, I want to go on The Price is Right. Okay.
Good for you. I think there's an application for it.
He says, "Hey Jeffrey, hello, Randy White, fill in." No, that's Keon. He's always on the show.
Yeah.
He says, "Hi, loser listeners." Don't call it. What are you talking about? Calling everybody? You're a listener too. He said, "Do you know about the smack off on the Jim Rome show? I want to participate in that." Okay, well,
you're
can
talking,
call, the wrong people.
Yeah, and
now that you called the people who listen to the show losers, I wouldn't lift a finger to help you now, man. That was not very nice at all. CK says, no Marte, 2 games in a row. Carson Kelly getting his 3rd start in a row, and Corbin Carroll on the bench. Bold strategy, Skipper. Wait, why is Corbin Carroll on the bench?
Might just be a day off kind of thing. Just if you just feel like, hey, the guy's been playing really hard, and you just want to give him the day. Baseball seasons are long. It happens.
You don't think it's because of his mistake the other day? Yesterday, he caught the second out of the 3rd inning, shallow fly ball from Cody Clemens, but he's like, well, I guess that's it, 3rd out. And he turned around to grab his hat that had fallen off. While he was going after his hat, Real Muto's like, oh, I think I will run home, and scored.
So not great. I don't think that helps, but maybe, the baseball season is just a long grind. Hey, buddy, your head's not on straight today. You just take a day. We'll see you next game.
I don't know. You want to put your best bat on the bench. So probably he has something to do with that error. I don't get it. But okay.
The season is just really damn long. Yeah. And sometimes you just give a guy a break.
Sun Devil Raul says, they all know who I'm talking about. Nobody knows what you're talking about, Sun Devil Raul. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Hefty Lefty says, Rajon Rondo's kid with a bottle of champagne after the 2020 title might take the Kate on post-championship game photos. Get me that picture. I don't remember that picture. Brooks Koepka says, yeah, that guy's been around forever. Cup guy. Man, Cup guy, $400,000. He has to do something. That can't be his only job. That's got to be part of his job. That can't be his only job. Because, man, I got some spray cleaner. I got some paper towels. I could go around and do that job. I mean, how much of that is his travel, though?
Yeah.
He's got to fly around everywhere with the cup.
Like the whole once the Stanley Cup is over, every player gets a day with it. And
Just
NHL roster is pretty big. So he's flying around all over the world. If your team's got guys from Serbia and the Netherlands and Canada and all over the US, you're kind of just all over the world, really. And you're like,
so he will really go to Canada with the cup. I mean, not Canada, but that is a foreign country. He'll go to Serbia with the cup so somebody can have their day with it. How about you just come to the United States or Canada and have your day with it in North America? I mean,
yeah,
you come here and play, which means you probably have an apartment or some sort of lodging. No, the damn cup does not need to go to, but Stakistan or wherever you're from. I don't know where you're from.
The thing is, a lot of the league is a lot of European guys. Like they're just like, I want my family to see the cup. I mean, that's
how great would it be in this world if there was a country called But Stakistan? I just made that up.
The world would be a better place.
Welcome
almost
to
immediately.
But Stakistan. I don't know. Feel like they should come to the cup. The cup shouldn't have to go to them. What do I know? All right, so Hefty Lefty, man, he was quick on that. Oh, I remember this picture. I think somebody should have called CPS on that. Kid sitting there drinking out of the champagne bottle.
There was a whole controversy about whether or not it was champagne or cider.
Oh, no, that's champagne. I know what a Michelina bottle looks like. That ain't it.
And that kid was drinking it like he knew how to drink it, which is because usually if kid accidentally gets some alcohol, the first reaction is, oh my God, that's disgusting. Why do adults drink this?
No, this kid is
that kid is going for broke right there. That's concerning.
He's like, listen, 3rd grade, it's not easy. Give me that bottle. This is too much. Moist One says they want to take the cup back home where they grew up playing hockey. I think it's great. Yeah. Just seems excessive to have to take it across the world, though. Walter Mellon says, hey, Jeffrey, they pay that poor guy $400,000 a year, but the kicker is he has to pay for all his flights, his room, his board. He only makes like $4 every time he's done traveling anywhere. That's what I was thinking. That is an awful lot of travel. I wonder if sometimes he just FedExes it and says, shh,
just make sure it gets back. Granted, if you lose the Stanley Cup,
yeah,
that is the end of your run there. You're done.
Some guy in Argentina has no idea. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Sun Devil Raul says, how's Phoenix Rising doing? I have no idea.
I don't know what show you think you're listening to, but for us to be informed about soccer is rare.
Yeah. He says, can we talk local soccer? You can to people nearby, but we're not going to. CK says, what's Sun Devil Raul talking about? No idea. No idea. He's probably drunk. Every time he gets like this, we find out he's drunk. Hefty Lefty says, that poor kid's going to have to switch to hard alcohol once they introduce letters into his math problems. True. No, you're not even messing around with that. All right, so enough of this. Let's get back. Oh, by the way, has it come down yet? Do we know what's going to happen to John Morant? Have they ruled on this yet?
No, I haven't seen anything about it.
What's the holdup? Because here's the thing. Adam Silver had made his decision. He said, I have made my decision, and we'll get to the info on that after the finals. Finals are over. Where's the decision? Kind of curious,
Yeah. Yeah, we're still not sure. The league has not put out the punishment of John Morant yet. So there's still a lot of speculation, but no one is actually clear on what the league's decision is going to be.
Adam Silver said this last week. He says, I will say we probably could have brought it to a head now, but we made the decision. I believe the Players Association agrees that it would be unfair of these players and these teams in the middle of the series to announce the results of an investigation. Okay. All right. I mean, I didn't really think that was a big deal then. And everybody's kind of curious what's going to happen now, because I don't know if you've noticed, it's the off season and people are going to need to start figuring out what they're doing, including the team that John Morant may or may not be on next year. So I'm just saying, whatever you're about to do, post haste, let us know.
Yeah. I mean,
you've already decided it. What's the holdup?
Yeah. There are reports that he's looking at 25 to 30 games, but those are reports. That's not the league itself saying that.
Interesting, though. John Morant flashes a weapon, gets 25 to 30 games, and that cat that got busted gambling on football, well, he might get banished. Seems a little, you know what? The way the NBA has done stuff and the NFL has done stuff, not really on the same page.
No, not at all. They are of two minds in every way possible. But they kind of have different problems too. The different things that their players do to get into trouble, they're not the same.
Somebody's going to get busted betting in the NBA too, I bet.
I'm sure. I'm a little surprised it hasn't happened yet. If for just the amount of guys that it's happened to in the NFL, that they're either the NBA is very good about keeping that under wraps.
You know what? This brings up a question.
Yeah.
The average intelligence of an NBA player versus the average intelligence of a football player, who do you think is smarter?
I don't know.
That's an interesting question right there, isn't it? I'm not trying to be a jerk to anybody or nothing.
Yeah.
But is it possible that basketball players are of a higher intelligence than football players? Now, some basketball players are dumber than dirt. Some football players, brilliant. But we're talking about the average now.
Yeah. And I always feel like in the NFL, the offensive guys are generally smarter. Like they just have you're the ones that have to plan. The defense is reacting.
Right.
So obviously you know what your responsibilities are in certain schemes and stuff, but you're reacting to what the offense is doing. And coaches want a guy that's able to just sort of feel where he's supposed to go, know where he's supposed to be. That does not require, necessarily high levels of thought, which is why every time you look at the guys that have always had to take these IQ tests, the guys with the higher scores are on the offensive side of the ball, like receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, those guys.
I mean, I don't want to even talk about the Wonderlic. I want to talk about, an intelligence test And just say, there's no way they'd ever do it. But if you could test everybody in the NFL and you could test everybody in the NBA on intelligence levels, find the average, I think the NBA is probably going to end up smarter. I'm just, I got,
and I wonder
hunch.
if lack of head trauma also contributes to that as well. Like you just don't deal with that in the NBA
that's a
on
good
the same
point.
level. So you maybe had guys that are,
unless you have Draymond Green on your team, you could get some head trauma during practice before the season even starts.
He is going to throw a full punch at you if you don't see it coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that probably rung Poole's bell right there. Biscuits and Gravy said, if there's about 1,700 guys in the NFL versus 30 in the NBA, yeah, so I said average it out.
Yeah, that seems fair.
I don't know.
We're not trying to count the amount of smart guys.
Yeah,
the rosters are obviously different sizes.
It's the intelligence level in general. CK says, I think the announcement on John Morant is going to happen, after the parade. Oh, I see. I guess that does make sense.
Yeah.
Like CK rarely does make sense, but he did make sense right then.
Probably the most cogent text from CK in a while.
Think about a Denver parade. You're a mile high. It's got to be a short route. You would be like exhausted. Oh God! Of course, they're used to it there in Denver.
Yeah, they live there. I just wonder what the parade's going to be like with less drunk people and more high people.
You know how you get Jokic to be at the parade? Not just borrowing an airplane. Give him a horse. Let him ride a horse through the parade.
He would be so happy.
That's all you got to do, and he'll go from I want to go home to ooh horsey. Of course, that's the English version. I don't know how to speak Russian. My wife says, hey, we should learn Russian. Okay, is that I failed to learn Spanish. Because here's why. Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
Because, I'm in love with the English language and, using it to do what I need to do, what I do on air, what I do in comedy, and manipulating it. I just know it. I love the English language. So much fun. Spanish will put words that go after other words before words. Mm-hmm. It's like all out of order, and it's hard for me to get, wrap my brain around. I don't know if Russian does that. I want to learn a language that does not do what Spanish does. The whole backwards, and then, some words are female, some words are male. Like, oh God.
Yeah, that's now a lot of European. That's, French, Italian.
Now I got to reach under the dress and figure out what the hell this word is. I can't tell you what the O or the ah. Just, oh my God, it's too much. It's too much. And it's not because I'm dumb. It's just I am so locked in with the English language. I know a bunch of Spanish words,
but like to take those words and then construct them into a sentence.
Yeah, I'll say some stuff and I'll turn to the wife and say, did I say that in order? And she's like, rarely will she say yes. I'm like, all right. I was like, why didn't you tell me? She's like, you sound like you're having fun. Okay. Just don't let me do that in public. Just don't let me do that in public. And so, so now figuring out, is Russian straight ahead, word for word kind of thing. I mean, that's, I'll learn Chinese. I'll learn Japanese. I'll learn, look at these. I don't even care as long as it goes in, order.
Oh, yeah, no, Japanese is weird.
Wilbur says, yeah, Spanish is the dyslexic language, I guess that's a good way to put it. Says, he says this on behalf of the Blender 1580. What? Oh, he's trying to give me English and Spanish. Bruno Baller says, Jeffrey, can you say I failed Spanish in Spanish? No habla español. No bueno. Silver Pop says, how would we calculate the average intelligence of the fourth dimension? We don't dare.
we wouldn't try because no answer you get you're gonna like. Either it's low and you're like, well, that figures, I guess, but that's kind of insulting, or it's really high, in which case, why are we all like this?
So here's the thing: we've got lawyers, we have doctors, surgeons, even, but then we also have Blissful Hayes. So you have to just understand somebody is going to screw up the curve for somebody, Then
you've got guys like the moist one who are they seem smart, but like
very smart,
using those smarts to creep out literally everyone. I don't know if I want to learn all that about everybody.
No. He's very smart.
Yeah.
I think he helps the just you have to wash his test.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is a good question though. That is a good question. And fifth letter says true. Zach will wait. What? Got to be careful how I read this sentence. He says true. Zach Wilson gets a lot of head trauma from them New York housewives.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to put the pause where he wanted, we'd all be in trouble. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Next up, straight talk from Doug. Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk Talk. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at straighttalk.com based on most first place rankings, root metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Have you ever cut your own hair? Do you do your own car repairs? Would you ever consider performing surgery on yourself? Of course not. So why would you manage your own money? True, you don't have to pay yourself a fee, but do you have the skills and experience to effectively grow your money consistently and safely in up and down markets?
Hi, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. Over the years, I've seen a lot of do-it-yourself mishaps. You work so hard for the money, perhaps it's time to let someone else work hard to help you keep that money. At Compact Asset Management, we focus on growing your money safely and consistently. Call me at 1-800-388-9700 and make an appointment for a free portfolio review. Together, we can help you reach your financial goals. Call 1-800-388-9700. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Before becoming a professional announcer, I took the announcer oath, which forbids me from misleading listeners.
Just wrap your heads around the reality of that.
That means I speak the truth when I say you can listen to us on your smart speaker. Just say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Okay, John Morant ruling it down yet? You got to keep checking that.
I will continue to hit refresh on the Goop.
Keep hitting refresh like every 15 seconds. Not that it affects my life at all. Here's something that affects your life. I guess the Wizards looking to work with Bradley Beal on some trade scenarios. Are you better off without Bradley Beal? What's going on there?
Yeah, I just think that they didn't build a very good team around him. And then with the contract that he has, there's just not a whole lot of flexibility for the team. And they're in a place where I just think that if Bradley Beal is your best player, and I like the dude, he's been a Wizard since the beginning of his career. I'm gonna miss him, when they trade him.
I have a question.
Yes.
He's got a 5-year, $251 million contract. You've only had him for one of those years.
Yeah.
The hell are you doing?
Well, they fired the GM.
Oh, the guy who did it.
the guy who made that signing when everybody was telling him before Beal signed the contract, don't sign him to that giant contract. We've seen him here his whole career. If Bradley Beal is your most expensive, best player, can you have a championship team with that? And the answer seems to be no. And he went ahead, Tommy Shepard, the previous GM, he went ahead and did it anyway. And
he'd already been with you 10 years.
Beal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, I think year 10, he's getting $251 million.
And he's been a really damn good player, like a damn good player, but he can't win a championship. That's just the reality of it is if Bradley Beal is your number 2, you could be a championship team. If he's your number 1,
so
probably not.
Wizards rebuild, right?
Yeah. I mean, they hired a new president of basketball operations, a new general manager. You know, they cleaned out the front office and rebuilt the whole damn thing. So this is basically we're starting over. It's long overdue, but you know.
Are you happy about this? Or are you sad about this?
It's kind of bittersweet. I like Bradley Beal. He's always been a class guy. He's always been, you know, I'd love to win a championship in Washington. He's kind of like Damian Lillard that way, where he's just been really loyal. But the team is hamstrung. They were over the cap last year and they didn't even make the play-in. You can't have both.
So he costs too much for the Suns right
now. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that
I'm not even gonna worry about
that's gonna financially work there. Yeah.
Not even gonna think about it. Although Fred VanVleet, somebody we've talked about, I guess they're saying he's gonna opt out of that player option and be a free agent and all that. So what's the story on him, man?
I mean, the story on him is that he's a really good point guard, got championship experience, won the chip in 2019 with the Raptors, and has been, a player that has been good at shooting the three. He's been a really good distributor of the basketball. Doesn't need.
But don't we got to pay him $30 million?
I don't know if you have to pay him
25 million.
I mean, somewhere in the ballpark.
He declined a $22.8 million player option. So unless you give him a lengthy contract, you got to get closer to 25. You got to pay him.
Yeah, but do you give him a deal that's a few years and then you backload the deal so that
the Suns would have to?
Yeah, I mean, but it's possible that you can negotiate where it's like, okay, you're not going to make the 25 this year, but the average of every year could come out to that much. I mean, that would be a way to work around that. Like it wouldn't. It's only if he signs a 1 year that you're kind of screwed because there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah. All right. Well, if Fred VanVleet is too expensive, Jennifer Beal is too expensive, then what are we supposed to do here? What are the Phoenix Suns supposed to do? Because I don't think keeping Chris Paul is the answer. I mean, he came in, he did what he did. He picked up the slack and helped create the team culture. Probably more than you could say Monty ever did. Nothing bad against Monty. I still think that they probably shouldn't have cut bait on him so soon as they did. But, I'm just saying, Chris Paul going forward, I don't think that's the answer. And DeAndre Ayton, if they're going to keep him around. So the plan can't be everything stays the same, but here's a new coach. So something's got to change.
Yeah, and the changes are coming. I think that with Chris Paul, if you can negotiate a cheaper deal with him, then obviously that gives you room to try and figure out how to add depth in other places.
How much room? I mean, we don't. What do you say? I think you told me the other day we have $10 million of space. What was it you said?
Yeah, I think the Suns are about there. Let me go ahead and pull that back up again. But I think with Chris Paul, because of course the report's a little premature that he had been waived. He's sort of in that place where they let him know that that's definitely a primary option on the table if they're not able to work things out or not able to work out a trade yet with him. But as it currently stands, like that contract with Chris Paul is in a place where it's negotiable enough where you might be able to save some money without having to release him. And then, you try and get deeper in other places.
So you're saying there is a chance the Phoenix Suns will keep the core starters and just try to improve the bench in the offseason?
Yeah. to get deeper or to add another starter. Maybe not somebody who's a superstar level guy, but someone who's around like all-star level that you can afford to just add more talent. Because I mean,
this does not sound like Ishbia. What sounds like Ishbia is a big splash. Something big is going to happen. When they first started talking about how Chris Paul, they were not going to continue on with that contract, something big's got to be coming. So I think that they want to do something big. And if it can't be, if it's not enough with Chris Paul, it's going to be something else. So maybe a giant trade with DeAndre Ayton in the middle of it.
I mean, there have been Ayton trades put out there, and I don't know how serious a lot of these execs are because, they always put out rumors and leak certain things so that they can try and gauge the reaction of everybody else. So, just like it is around the NFL draft, when you start to get close to NBA free agency, it's hard to trust a lot of what you're reading. But from what I understand, if the reports are true, there are a number of teams that might be interested in the services of DeAndre Ayton, and that could be the big blockbuster move that you're looking for.
Yeah, Ishbia is a big splash guy, and I think that he's just hovering over James Jones right now, trying to sort this thing out. I think there's a lot of long days and sleepless nights at the Phoenix Suns organization as they sort this thing through. Thundar the San Barbarian says, I finally have a chance to hop on YouTube and catch you guys live. And what do I hear? Keon talking smack about Nihongo.
Oh, Japan. Yeah, just the Japanese language is tough to learn. We were talking about languages that are hard to learn.
Nihongo is what they call Japan.
That's what Japanese.
Well, then why do we call it Japan? We could call it Nihongo.
We could, but
where did we get Japan?
I don't know.
Who came up with Japan if it's Nihongo?
Please don't ask me that question.
That was more to the universe, Keon.
I definitely can't help
just because I'm looking at you does not always mean I'm talking to you. You should know that already.
Good point.
Nihongo. He says, how can you call Japanese strange when English has so many pronunciations for owl, Keon, or uff? He says, rough, cough, dough, through. Hey, guys, glad to catch you live again. Hey, what'd you do to Randy? You didn't ditch him at Barrel's Pizza again, did you? No. He's just not feeling good. He's just taking a day.
And the reason why I called it strange is it's strange coming from English. Like the language you start with determines how strange other languages are. If you're starting with Spanish, French isn't that strange because they use a lot of the same rules and words and
Konnichiwa,
stuff.
mofo.
But coming from English.
What's Konnichiwa mean? I don't know what I just said.
Hello, I think.
Oh, okay, good. Thank God. Thundar, do you know Japanese? Are you Japanese? I'm just kind of curious. So that's the thing. What language can I learn that goes in order? You know what I'm saying? If I say Keon fell down the stairs, each word I'd kind of want to be replaced with Keon. That's of course sounds like no language, but you know what I'm saying? Each word representing the word I would have said in English sure would make it easy, even if it is Chinese or Japanese or something.
Yeah, I don't know what languages have similar, word order to us.
I need somebody who's smart and a linguist. I need a cunning linguist. I need a cunning linguist to get on here and tell me what is a good, easy language for me to learn that is in the same order as, say, English.
Maybe German, potentially.
We all need a cunning linguist in our life. 888-368-1580. Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy hump day. I don't like that. He says, wow, Randy's out today, huh? Yeah, it's a bummer. He says, no, Sir Ralph. What is he, busy solaring today? No, we didn't ask him. I was hoping that Randy was going to come back today, but hopefully we'll see Randy tomorrow. All right, so we put it off for the better part of an hour, Keon. We talked about it a little bit. 15-3. The Phillies just completely destroyed the Diamondbacks last night. Did we do this? Talking about the Diamondbacks as if they were legit and talking about the Diamondbacks as if, oh boy, I think the word playoff actually came out of my mouth at some point.
I don't think we did this.
Did we jinx this?
No.
Did we ruin a good thing?
Because every now and then you're just going to have bad games. It was a bad game. Got out of hand.
It really got out of hand.
Real early.
It got out of hand too fast.
And look, the Phillies are a talented team that can hit. That if you have a bad day and you're going up against the wrong team, yeah, they're going to put runs on you. I don't know. I wouldn't read too much into it.
It's making me nervous. The day we start to actually get comfortable with the Diamondbacks being a great team, this happens. 15-3. I hope you're right. Hope it's just a hell game for them. I hope that's all it is.
I mean, they've won 20 games at home, 20 games on the road. I don't think you can do that if you're fluky. I think they'll get back on track.
I sure hope we didn't do this. All right, hour 2 is up next. Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Come on, we're going to be late to the cookout.
I was just packing up my famous mac and cheese.
I hope you packed the Pepto, too.
Huh?
Pepto-Bismol provides fast relief from heartburn and indigestion. You know, that uncomfortable feeling after you eat too much and after the deviled eggs, baked beans, and barbecue ribs. You're going to need it.
Barbecue ribs? I should probably pack an extra shirt, too.
Good call.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto-Bismol. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Greg Clark Automotive Specialists are proud of our U.S. men and women in uniform. We thank you and your families for the sacrifices you've made to defend our freedom. We pray for your safety in war and your safe return. And we honor those who've given their lives to fight terrorism. From Greg Clark Automotive Specialists at the corner of 19th and Bethany Hone Road in Phoenix, experience the Greg Clark difference. Call 602-246-2881. May God bless America.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Don't let your kids get fooled by the people they meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but those strangers are using their relationship to deal drugs to your kids. If you think tiny pills can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Find resources at TalkNowAZ.com. Don't let your kids get fooled. Talk to them. And visit TalkNowAZ.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He still just feel a little under the weather. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. Keon Rose is in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And the text line is all about teaching me another language. Because listen, I don't think I'm ever going to be fluent in Spanish. I know enough to kind of pick some of it up. I can say a few things, but I'm just not fluently comfortable with it. So I was thinking, okay, well then what language can I learn that I could be fluently comfortable with? Big George says, well, English is a Germanic language, so German's pretty easy to learn. And then he said, Gesundheit. I have no idea what the hell you were saying there. Can't even read that. Net. Here's the thing. When I try to speak Spanish, I end up sounding like a Spanish vampire. Buenos dias, everybody. It's just too, because I just what I hear on the TV. Buenos noches. And so I think if I do German, it's going to go one of two ways. There's only two speeds for me with the German language. One is, I think you're very sexy. It's very nice. Why don't you come over here? Give me a big old kiss on the pie. And I don't know. I don't know.
That one kind of got away from you there at the end.
I didn't know where I was going with the P, so I was like, pie? I don't know, maybe. And then, or the other version of German is, and I just don't think either needs to be.
Yeah, like what if it just might not be possible to sound like an average German?
No.
Whatever that sounds like.
I think one of those two probably is, but so no, I think German is right out as far as the language I will learn. Does anybody know Russian? Is Russian a straightforward language, not one that bounces around and has feminines and masculines and stuff like that? Navy Brad says, I learned some French and German from Hogan's Heroes. Well, I know that much too, Navy Brad. Thundar the Santa Barbarian says, I lived in Japan for 13 years, so I speak a little. Wait, you've lived there 13 years and you only speak a little?
I would hope that you would speak a lot if you lived somewhere nearly a decade and a half. Just saying.
He says, Japan is a mistaken pronunciation that came from English through Dutch, Portuguese, Nippon, Japan. I don't know the exact sequence. It was a few hundred years ago. So hopefully Randy does feel better soon. That we agree on. So now I feel like I've learned something, though. Nihongo. Nihongo is that really it? Nihongo? I think that's amazing. I know a thing
from the bits and pieces that I have picked up from watching anime, which is all I've got.
Nihongo is a much more interesting name than Japan, I think. CK says, don't worry, because let me tell you why he's saying don't worry. Before the top of the hour, we finally got around to talking about Diamondbacks getting their asses kicked by the Phillies 15-3 last night. And I worried, did we jinx them? Because yesterday we were talking about them like they're a real boy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look, it's not, there's no strings on me. It's like, oh my gosh, the Diamondbacks have come to life this year. And as soon as we finally started feeling comfortable in that, this happens 15-3. Dear God.
I mean, it's not just us. If anything, the national media has been writing about the Diamondbacks a lot lately because everybody wants to figure out how the hell we didn't see this coming.
Because these things, we're not allowed to have nice things. It's Phoenix.
That's what I'm learning here.
So hopefully this was the exception to a rule, and it's not a jinx. So I was reading something somebody said. What was I reading? So CK says it was just one game, Jeffrey. Position player pitched to save the bullpen. In the famous word of Aaron Rodgers, relax. All right, I'll relax. Just, how hard it was to get us to the point of talking positively about the Diamondbacks with confidence.
Yeah,
we did that yesterday.
And it took us just about half the season to get there. So yeah, one blowout, and you start to wonder.
And now you know why I don't do that.
Did we jump the gun a little bit?
CK says you should learn Pikey. Oh, you mean? I love that movie, Snatch. By the way, the movie Snatch is about snatching some diamonds. It's not about anyway. But yeah, that would be fun. Heavy Metal Maniac says, I just think the bullpen was taxed, Jeffrey. Nothing to worry about. They use the position player as relief pitcher rather than taxing the bullpen any more than they might already have. So be fine. It'll be fine. And he also gave me the relax. Heavy Metal Maniacs, are you sitting next to CK? Because one of you guys just cheated off the other guy's paper. You both gave me the Aaron Rodgers relax line. We'll see if anybody else came up with that. Watermelon says, Jeffrey, you're fluent in fourth dimension text language. You're able to decipher questionable messages we send in. Yeah, that's more like bomb squad activity. That's not as much like I know another language, you know. Yeah. Mars Bars 805 says, why are you scared and superstitious, Jeffrey? I talked about the D abacus and the A's took care of business. I'll take an 805, please. Go Diamondbacks and go A's. Sell, he yells. Well, that was the battle cry last night as 27,759 A's fans show up at the Coliseum for reverse boycott night. On the same day, the Nevada Senate voted to approve $380 million in public money, which, by the way, that's not true. It's not $380 million in public money. Yeah, here's what it is. I did the math. You know how I hate doing math. They got $380 million in the public assistance taxes, $180 million in transferable tax credits, and then $120 million in county bonds. That's $680 million, really. So that is not a small chunk of money right there. But they voted. Las Vegas is ready. Hey, bring them here. We're ready to go. Now, this isn't the end all. This is the first step. Okay. There's more hurdles that need to be jumped. But that was a big one. That was a big one. So they get the news comes down as they're partying in the parking lot, like with their Save Our Team sort of rally cry. And they're like, sell the team. We want to stay here. And no, guess not. Forget it. Usually they get 8,500 people. Last night they got about 28,000 people.
Yeah.
Everybody's sad. Just sitting there with their sell t-shirts on, like, meh. Can I just say something? If every team leaves your town, that says something about your town. Where are the Warriors now? Not in Oakland. Where are the A's? They're like most of their body is out the door on the way to buy a pack of cigarettes and never come back.
But I still don't think it's fair to those fans. I mean,
I'm not talking about the fans, clearly.
Yeah.
If you had put a good team on the field, 30,000 people would show up maybe on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I'm just saying, it may have nothing to do with the fans. Could have something to do with the city.
Could be, but it unfortunately punishes just individual people who love that team.
Raiders said bye-bye. The Warriors said bye-bye. The A's are saying bye-bye. It's not about the Raider fans. Plenty of them.
Oakland
wasn't about the Golden State fans. Plenty of them. It's not about the A's fans. Something is wrong in Oakland that they're like, we don't want to be there.
And it could just be the market size. Like you look at Las Vegas, we could just make more money in Vegas. We could just make more money in Los Angeles.
Could be there's not enough Starbucks. Could be the reason. I know that's a weird thing to hear. Not enough Starbucks. There's a Starbucks across the street from the Starbucks. Inside that Starbucks, in the bathroom, there's a Starbucks. California's like that.
Yeah, they love Starbucks more than anything, actually.
Uh-oh. And their scratch, it says, yeah, we jinxed them. See, that's what I was worried about.
You can't say that after one game. And I do think that the texters who are talking about the position players, that were in bullpen relief. Well, yeah, I mean, part of the reason why you got beat so bad is he gave up like 8 runs in the last 2 innings of the game when the Diamondbacks had basically already waved the white flags and said, just, hey, look, you guys just have fun out there. I mean,
that makes me feel a little better, but it also makes me feel worse at the same time.
That's not going to be every night.
Is that possible? Because I feel like I felt both those emotions at the same time when you said that.
I do think that's possible.
Thundar the San Barbarian clarifies, Japanese language is called Nihongo. Okay. Japan is called Nihon. Am I saying this right? Nihon, Nihongo, or is it ni or ni? Moist One says, who cares about how bad the butt whooping was? It still only counts as 1 loss. Thanks, Moist One. I mean, you are trying to make me feel better. I do appreciate that, which is very rare for you. King Kenton says $15 beer is now $20. Going cashless at the ballparks and entertainment venues is crap. Crap, I tell you. Price at concession stands was the price. But now they make you use a credit card or debit, and now they add almost 10% tax, and they ask you for a tip. So now your 15 is 20. Okay. I don't know.
I mean, the tip was always there though, so
what?
Should have always factored that into the beer purchasing.
Wait, you tip the guy who says ice cold beer.
Yeah,
that guy gets a tip. People at the counter,
if you go to the concession stand,
should not get a tip.
What are you? What am I tipping you for?
Yeah,
you walked over there and got the beer and then walked back.
Listen, I appreciate the people who wait tables. I appreciate people like Heavy Metal Maniacs who makes a living humping all that beer and carrying all that and saying ice cold beer and doing all that. These people are working for a living, and a big part of that is the tips they get. But standing at the counter or handing me a bag through a drive-through does not deserve a tip.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have to pay for that. You know, raise your prices, pay your people. That ain't going to happen, is it? No, they never pay the little guy, do they? But I am the customer. So that's the thing. I sympathize. And listen, there's certain places I go that even I get it at the counter. All right, I dig these people. I'm going to put a little something extra in for you guys right here. But in general, should never have to tip in a drive-through. Should never have to tip if nobody brought you your food. At a place I went to with my wife, this Thai place, I think I talked about this before in the air. We go in there and we order at the counter and we go sit down and, you know, I was like, are you going to bring me my drink? He's like, no, there's the drink place over there. Oh, why did I tip you at the counter? Because I tipped ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because they always put that little thing on the screen, tip 10, 15, 20. I hit 20 because I always tip 20%. And all of a sudden I'm like, why did I tip you?
There's no reason.
You're not going to bring me a napkin. Oh, can I get some napkins? They're over there. Really? And to make things worse, the place was empty except for us. So he's standing there between me and the napkins. And I just tipped him 20%. He could have gone back and got me some damn napkins. I don't want to go back. My wife loves the food there, but I don't want to go back.
I mean, it's going to be no tip town if you do go back because
no, you're absolutely right.
It's just if I can't figure out what I'm tipping you for, I'm not doing it.
And Heavy Metal Maniacs, hell yeah, I'm tipping him.
Absolutely.
Somebody brings the food to the table and takes the plates and gives it. Hell yeah, I'm tipping them. Somebody brings me my food to my house. Hell yeah, I'm tipping you. Everybody gets 20%. But sorry, at the counter, not so much. Drive-through, definitely not. Am I missing any places I need to tip people?
I'm sure the fourth dimension will fill it in if we forgot.
I heard there's some self-checkout things that are asking for a tip.
No.
Like, who am I tipping? Me? What the hell is this?
The machine like that.
The machine I was never put through training on. And now you're going to give me a hard time if I make a mistake while checking out my stuff at this self-checkout. And then you're going to treat me like a criminal if I forgot, didn't really realize how to put the asparagus in correctly. You're going to choke me out at the door over, I didn't realize there were two stocks. I thought there was one. And now all of a sudden the cops are being called.
It's infuriating. Yeah. Yeah.
Silver Pop says the Cardinals tipped their little guy.
Oh boy.
I think that's text of the day.
Oh boy.
I love that. Okay. Now listen, Erectinator. Erectinator says, so no diarrhea at the mouth, Ralph today. Damn jackass. I am not reading your texts anymore until you explain either who you are, and I don't even have to read it on air, who you are in Ralph's life that you coming at him this way, or why you hate the dude so much. You need to tell me this. I just need to know.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a good reason.
But I don't have to share with everybody else either, Rectinator. I just need to know.
This has to be some reason why. It's so confusing.
You owe me an explanation. Doesn't mean I have to give it to Ralph, but you owe me one, and then we'll see what happens. All right, let's get back here. Oh my God, tons of texts here. Fighting Wampa says, don't worry about blowouts. Look at the Florida Panthers. They got blown out last night, and I'm sure they're going to be perfectly fine in the next game. It's going to be a few months before we know the answer to that, but thanks, Fighting Wampa. Beer Bob says, good teams have bad games too. I think they even had someone come out of the stands to pitch the last inning. Let's just hope, it's just one bad game for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, if they go on a 15-game losing streak, yeah, we're coming after you guys. You jinxed them. I guess we'll have it coming. Big George says, what I don't understand is how Vegas is getting away with only building a 30,000 seat stadium for the A's. The next lowest capacity stadium is 35,000. 30,000 doesn't seem like that big a stadium. Sloan Park in Mesa get 20,000. Yeah, why would they do that?
Because they're cheap.
Oh, I thought maybe it was just the footprint that the stadium could have to be in an optimal place.
Maybe it's that, but if you ask me, it's because they're cheap. They have been one of the cheapest ownership groups in baseball forever. Randy, I don't know what Randy's feeling about the A's ownership is, but the reason we have analytics to the degree we do in baseball is because they had to figure out some way to win where they couldn't spend money.
And that was the Oakland A's.
Yeah. That like the movie Moneyball is about how cheap these people are. And so, yeah, the fact that they're leaving Oakland is like, really? You haven't spent a nickel, even when those teams were good.
Well, they really saved up for it. Then
that wasn't money. It wasn't because you were spending to put a product on the field. It's because you happen to hire, a general manager who was willing to think so unconventionally. He was able to analytics you to a playoff run. I mean, they're one of the teams that when you talk about the ownership doesn't spend the money to put a product out on the field that matters, they're one of the main culprits.
Yeah, but you get a brand new place.
You think at least, put some money there.
Can I just say, if somebody said to me, hey, Jeffrey, we really love you and we want you to stay here in the Valley. In fact, what we'll do is we will help chip in on this house. I know you want a much bigger house. So what we're going to do is give you a 4,000 square foot house. Yeah, you pay this much, we'll pay this much, and then we're just happy to have you. I wouldn't say, how about a 3,000 square foot house?
You're right.
I'd be like, hell yeah, you're paying a bunch of this? I want a 5,000 square foot house. Let's do this thing. So yeah, that is kind of weird. The Oakland A's. The only thing I could think is the footprint of where they want the optimal place for their stadium to be on the Strip. It could only have that many. Maybe it's a parking issue. Maybe I don't know what the issue is. Hopefully, it makes sense. Then you could easily add more to that. That just does baffle me. But you know what? The money doesn't always just come from the tickets. And the other thing about the A's is look at their average. For how long has it been? 8,555 people. That is their average, which means some days it's been less. So they're probably sitting there. How many seats do you think we need this thing? 855. We could do at least 3-4 times better than that, right? Yeah, all right. 30,000 is enough. It's like they're not thinking, or they're just that damn cheap.
Yeah, and this is a money-making operation for them. And if they're going to be this cheap in Vegas when it comes to building a baseball team, I do feel bad for those fans already.
Pro Dog says, do you tip the pizza delivery person? Well, hell yeah, I do. Absolutely, I do.
The person drove to your house. I used to deliver pizza, and I got to tell you, it's hard on your car and a bunch of other things. Yeah, no, you tip that
gas
person.
Prices. It's definitely tipping. The gas prices have made that hard to make money with. Navy Brad wants you to know that the founding family of Japan was the Yamato clan. Okay, well, I don't care. I don't care. What?
Now we're just getting Japanese history lessons, and it's cool, but it's not what we're talking
Hey, Brad,
about.
too much. Too much trivia. I just want to know what language will be easier to learn than, say, Spanish for me. Thundar the Sam Barbarian says, as a Californian, I can tell you the problem with Oakland is Oakland. Okay, and therefore located in Northern California. It's in the immortal words of Mr. T, I pity the fool who lives in NorCal. He says, Nihon and Nihongo is how you say it. Oh, so it's Nihongo. Nihongo.
Yeah.
Well, I was really saying it wrong. Thank you. I'm learning Japanese. But I need to know if they talk in, left to right. No, that don't make sense. They go up and down. Okay, I did. All right, so I'm just saying, if I say, I'm going to the bank, each word for I, going, bank is directly translatable. Does that make sense? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it just
not saying that the bank, I go. It's like it doesn't scramble it.
Yeah, I mean, well, from your point of view,
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, if you grew up learning the language that way, that's not backwards to you.
Moist one says, I learned all my Japanese from hentai. Okay.
All right.
Let's take
Well-
a break. It's the Daily Blender. You're on 1580, The Fanatic.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prominent poster at Penny's on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
N617. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Did you know there are resources out there to support every Arizona service member, veteran, and their family? The Be Connected program is available statewide at no cost. We're here to help you navigate the system and get connected to whatever resources you need. Call 866-4AZ-VETS to talk directly to caring people professionally trained to help you. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
New schedule, new season, new direction. This year, the Cardinals will travel over 25,000 miles. They will do battle against Bears, Browns, Texans, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, Eagles, Steelers, and Commanders on the road. They will face the Bengals, Cowboys, Giants, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, Falcons, and Ravens at home. Think there won't be drama? When it comes to Arizona Cardinals football, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So far, we're talking about the Oakland A's, tipping, and me trying to figure out a language I can learn. Heavy Metal Maniac says, a lot of times I don't get tipped on the beer at the ballpark because the price is so high. But I don't make the prices. It's a good thing they give us some commission on stuff. Well, it's good to hear you get at least that, man. If anybody deserves a tip, that's the guy who's chucking peanuts and popcorn and Cracker Jacks and beer at you, or popcorn or the candy corn. I don't know what the hell can you get. Do they give? They don't bring hot dogs down anymore. I don't know how that works. I did see there's this woman who was wearing a hat like she was from Mother Russia, and she was. I love the fake beer cans you guys use to hold up to show what you got. That right there, I was like, I know that's empty. And the question is, Heavy Metal Maniac, when you have the empty beer cans all taped together where you're showing what you got to sell, do you get to drink it? Did you get to drink and create your little signage thing? God, I hope so. Bruno Baller says, when you're at Sonic, they bring the food to your car. Would you tip them? Yeah, I think I would. I think I'd give them a couple bucks for that. That's a very different kind of thing.
Yeah.
That is service. So yeah, absolutely. I really don't go to Sonic. So, but yes, I anytime I've been there, you tip them, you give them a couple bucks.
A lot of Sonics have drive-throughs, so I tend to go through those. But yeah, if I went to the drive-in part of the Sonic, yeah, have a couple of dollars ready because they don't have it on the receipt to tip. I don't think.
Nurse Scratchit says, "Do you put money in a tip jar at a Roach Coach?" Yeah. I mean, or sometimes they have you use your card at the Roach Coach. They have like the little square thing you swipe, and then I'll write the tip in there. Of course, that's a different kind of thing. That's different. At the Roach Coach is different. That's like one guy who owns that's their making their living. If you're like, hey, I like the food, it's good stuff, and they're good, friendly people, yeah, I'll put something in there. If they're kind of, they're kind of meh, maybe not. The Bears fan says we should get a discount at places we have to self-checkout because we're the ones doing the work. I agree 1,000,000% with that, the Bears fan. When I go to Walmart or you go to Fry's or wherever you are where there's self-checkout,
yeah,
feel like I should get a little something for that.
Put the self-checkout so you could save on employee costs and maybe get me, 15% discount for doing the work of your employee.
Yeah, just saved you some money. Good Cat says, guys, how's it going? Yeah, it's going pretty good. Good Cat. We miss Randy today. But good to hear from you. Random Texture says, how come the cops get called if you bring up your asparagus wrong on the self-check, but if the price rings up wrong because it's not in the system correctly, nobody gets called? That was a joke, Random Texture. I don't think anybody has called the cops on anybody for getting the asparagus wrong, but they could. Maybe I'm wrong. Straight Striper says, tipping culture has definitely gotten out of control. The only one I'm never upset given the 100% tip plus a little extra, my significant other. I just walked into that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he set that up pretty well.
No, he did. I should have pre-read that one. Well, listen, you should always give her 100%. Rectinator, yeah, you know what? I think you're Booger Wolf. This nice. Now your text, you're Booger Wolf. You know how Booger Wolf and a Rectinator are not in the same place? It's Booger Wolf. It's the same person.
They've got a lot of the similar traits going on. Mm-hmm. I half expect a Rectinator to say something about how Randy has stinky feet or whatever it was.
Call you a salamander.
Yeah.
Thundar the San Barbarian sends a picture of him at a baseball game in Japan, and there's a Japanese beer vendor there. This young gal says this photo is 10 years old, but the young woman in the picture is also a friend of mine. Sold beer at the Hanshin Tigers baseball stadium in Japan. The backpack she's wearing is a keg of beer. She'd run up and down the stairs serving beer all game long, even in the humidity of Japan's summer. And there's no tipping in Japan, so you'd be happy, Jeffrey. No, I would be happy to give her a tip. If that's the culture, that means also she's probably getting paid well enough to where, okay, that's all cool, But no, don't get me wrong. I like to tip people who deserve the tips. Moist One says, new schedule, new season, nude erection. Come on, man. That commercial gets me excited for the Cardinal football. I don't think anybody said nude erection.
I don't think it comes up in the ad. No, I've heard it a few times. I don't think so.
I'm going to listen more carefully next time, see if Randy's trying to pull something on us here.
Possibly.
Heavy Metal Maniac says, Jeffrey, that would be like drinking and driving. I don't want to walk and try to sell beer. We'll have it a couple of beers there. I'm not drinking while I'm on the job is what I'm saying. There's a guy that sells hot dogs. He wears a giant hot dog on his head. It's a hot dog hat. Well, I know that's not a real hot dog. But good for you not drinking and driving or drinking and working. I wish we get Keon to stop drinking and working. Let's see. Big George says, last time I went to Sonic, I got violently ill. Can you imagine a 7-foot George getting violently ill?
That had to be terrifying for everyone in his house.
That would make him a weapon of mass destruction right there.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, it was a chili cheese dog. Yeah. He said, I've never gone back since. He says, I don't know how those two guys in that car go there so much in them commercials.
Maybe it's because they avoid the fast food chili. I'm just a guess.
Bruno Baller says, remember that paperboy in the movie Better Off Dead? I still think he's waiting for his $2. I don't think it was a tip. That was just, he needed payment for the papers. That was a great movie. You ever seen that? Better Off Dead?
I don't think I have.
John Cusack, Better Off Dead. I
guarantee. I like John Cusack. I'm surprised I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's funny. That is a good movie. I'm telling you right now, this could start a war. Maybe better than Three Amigos.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because Three Amigos came highly recommended and did not disappoint.
There are some funny lines in Better Off Dead. Sun Devil Raul says, are you skipping my texts? No, man, I'm reading these texts the best I can in the order that I get them from oldest to newest. So let's see here. I'm scrolling up to see what Sun Devil Raul, we're worried you might be a little drunk today. You were very aggressive when you first came in. So he says, play the song Working for a Living. Huey Lewis in the News. See, we're not a music station, Raul. That's why I'm thinking maybe you're a little tipsy right now.
Or Christian Bale in the movie American Psycho.
He says, I don't tip at Starbucks or the dispensary. That's right. That's right. The dispensary. Now it makes sense.
You should probably tip there. I don't know.
Now Sun Devil Raul is going after Japan. He says, hey, that Japanese lover needs to ease off the Datsun accelerator a little. The sinking of the USS Arizona battleship still hurts, all right? He says, okay, can I be honest with you? That's why I can't go there. Because when I was on the Queen Mary, I went, in California, I walked past some German people, and they're like, on these ends, I'm just kind of like, I got mad, like, you shouldn't be here. You tried to sink this ship all through World War II. And they were laughing and laughing. And then a friend of mine says, oh, that's nothing. I went to Pearl Harbor and I visited the USS Arizona, and there were Japanese people there with their cameras, but you don't have to even say that. There was Japanese people there and they were laughing. That is a somber memorial. That is not a place to laugh. And if I went there and heard some Japanese people laughing, listen, I know we've been friends for quite some time, but I'm going to punch you in the face.
I just feel like if your country is the only country in the history of the world to be nuked and it happened to you twice, do you get a little slack for, 2 nuclear bombs destroying?
This is going to sound really immature, but they started it.
Okay, sure.
We finished it.
Counterpoint. Those are nukes.
And
there's 2 cities just wiped off the face of the earth.
And millions of people were saved from having to fight anymore.
Never to be seen or heard from again. All I'm saying is
you started it. Don't come on our memorial. I'm not going to show up at Nagasaki and walk around and oh, the radiation's still here. I'm not doing that.
Well, I don't know that they're laughing at Americans. I mean,
well, they wouldn't know what I was saying in English. Well, no, they would. They're probably smarter than we are. Anyway,
they learn English in their schools.
It's probably a bad point.
We don't learn any of their languages, and by they, I mean the world. Everybody learns our language, though, so we don't know anything.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to Japan to some memorial there. I don't think in laughing. I don't think it's appropriate they do it here, and then that's why I don't want to probably avoid that. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. All right, so where were we here? Let me scroll back down. Kiss the Cook says places should give seniors 15% off of all purchases. Why? Listen, I'm not so far from the senior discount. I'm a couple years away before the AARP starts sending me crap in the mail, but I don't understand why I've lived long enough and now give me a discount. Guess what? There are now 20% of humanity that is 60 years or older. Used to be like 2%, 6%, something like that. There's a lot of old people around. If everybody's getting a discount, there goes the economy, Kiss the Cook. Of course, I don't mind a discount, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just
I'm putting in the promo code. I'm not lying.
if it's there and it's available, look, man.
Wilbur says, I'll give you a tip. Don't bet on the Dodgers. Well, Dodgers, yeah. You probably can bet on the Dodgers. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be that guy.
I would wait for the Dodgers to get healthy first before I started betting on the Dodgers. Wait for Dustin May and Julio Urias to probably come back first before you start consistently betting on the Dodgers ever.
Good Cat says Big George getting violently ill. The Death Star destroying Alderaan is what I said.
Yeah. Just a Big George projectile vomiting, his limbs flailing wildly in every direction, just knocking people out. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, no, that's
And he says Better Off Dead is great. He says, but my all-time favorite is The Jerk. Have you ever seen The Jerk? Steve Martin? Oh my God. See Better Off Dead. You'll probably then see The Jerk. Scratch Me Because says, why don't you get one of those C-3PO droids? They can translate anything for you. You know how annoying C-3PO was all the time? That's like having Phil around again. You know what I mean? Mars Bars 805 says, Jeffrey, I go to Cardinal Stadium with my Raiders gear on, and I point and laugh at the stadium. Plus, that's funny looking bird right there. 805, go Raiders. Don't be that guy, Mars Bars. Don't be that guy. Navy Brad says Japan did launch the biggest battleship ever built, the Yamato and the Mishushu, and we sunk them both. Yes, we did. I thank you for that. The Jet says, speaking of nukes, iPhone and PlayStations aren't getting out of hand with prices. Maybe we should drop a couple more of them and get the prices back down.
Okay, except that like Xbox is made here, and that also is just insanely out of hand.
Yeah, I feel like
iPhones
that's
are made here.
probably an overreaction to a high price.
Yeah, I just think that that
There
I don't
are-
think it's going to solve your problem,
We won the war, and we told them we are your friends now.
which is a little aggressive.
And but
How it ended.
we're still friends,
So there's that.
I think. Big George says, Jeffrey, you're right. The Japanese started World War II
Well,
by bombing Pearl Harbor. And the nuclear weapons used helped save the lives of countless Americans who would have stormed the beaches of Japan and fought
Wait.
tooth and nail until Japan fell. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but it was necessary.
the Japanese did not start World War II with Pearl Harbor, though. Just the Germans started it.
No, okay, yeah. The entire
The
Our
Japanese
conflict-
brought the U.S. into it.
the conflict between Japan and the United States started by Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, started by Pearl Harbor. I just want to be clear. The Japanese did not start World
Listen,
War II.
We're on a patriotic roll here. Don't you come over here with an asterisk and say there. Okay, we don't need that.
Fine. Noted.
Yes. Okay. Sun Devil Raul's like Los Alamos. I hung out there. It's a cool place. That's where we made those bombs. Okay. All right. That's great. We probably need to get back to some sports stuff.
Yeah, probably.
Mars Bars 805 says pizza in a cup. What did that come from?
I don't know. Somebody put that on the Twitter, and I don't know if I remember that being a Fourth Dimension person who posted that, or if that was just
You mean just now?
not just now.
Oh.
But I did see someone do this pizza in a cup thing, and it was a lot of sauce and a lot of cheese, and it looked like you were getting
It's
an
not
instant
pizza.
heart attack. Yeah.
That ain't pizza then. Pizza's on crust. Pizza's not in a cup. Unless the cup is made of bread or like a Panera, you know those
Ooh,
things.
yeah, the bread bowl.
Still a lot. That's too much sauce. Too much sauce. Yeah. All right. So what were we doing? Oh, that's right. We're trying to talk baseball. Here we go again. Why can't people figure out that the sticky stuff is gonna get you tossed? Drew Smith for the New York Mets just got tossed. He's gonna now probably serve a 10-day suspension. And the Mets are all about that sticky stuff. Why do you think you're going to get away with this? Why do they think they'll get away with it?
I don't know, but I was looking at his reaction, and he is just incensed. Like, it's not sticky. He's like, they checked his hands. They went and had their little ref huddle, and then they came back and tossed him. And he's shoving his hands into their faces repeatedly. Like, check it again. It's not sticky. It's not sticky. And basically, I don't know at this point if it's just his complaint is it's up to the refs to decide how sticky your hands are. But he was saying that he didn't have any sticky substance. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm actually confused now, because you're allowed to use the rosin. You're allowed to use the sweat. That is going to make it a little sticky, but is he actually someone who is using out and out sticky substance? I don't know. And the refs are not really clear on how sticky is so sticky that you're actually cheating. And he hadn't pitched yet. He didn't even get the chance. So how did they decide that his pitches were so much faster? He hadn't pitched.
Yeah. So they've got to come up with some sort of a
solid guideline.
If you're going to let them use rosin for something, and it's like you can use it, but don't get too sticky. Now that's too ambiguous.
And we've already seen with these umpires, like if you leave a gray area for them, who knows what they're going to decide, and that's where I empathize with them a little bit is maybe he was cheating, maybe his hands were sticky, but he was showing anybody who would listen his hands. And that just, to me, that didn't look like a guy who knew he was cheating. He was like, check it again, please. And they had already made up their minds. And so they weren't going to listen to him.
Well, yeah, it's one of these things that could be getting out of control. It is maybe the misinterpretation of the sticky. And, either let them use something or don't let them use something. The control of the ball is better when you use something. And so, people aren't getting plunked, but
you don't.
Is there an unfair spin on the pitch? Is there unfair grip on the pitch? I get it. Either have it or don't have it. Rosin or don't. Don't leave a gray area like Keon says, because the umps are going to get wrong almost every time.
Yeah, or even when if they rarely get it wrong, sometimes they get it wrong so badly that it tarnishes the whole thing. And I just don't think that if you're going to have this rule where guys are getting tossed for having some sticky substance on their hands, you have to be 100% clear about what they can and can't use, and then be very specific about how much and what that looks like. Because what it is guys are going to figure out, okay, if I mix this much sweat with this much rosin, I've got a substance that I feel is sticky enough. And if they're allowed to do that, it's sort of like sign stealing. If you're on second base looking at the catcher and you're not using cameras and all this other stuff, you are allowed to do that. You know, if you have stuff out there that people are allowed to use, then you can't toss them for using it.
Major League Baseball's a mess.
It really is. And again, it's the commissioner.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, more on this. I shouldn't have said that. A lot more on the text line and other sort of things. This is Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Turn your home into restricted airspace. Tell incoming flights you want them diverted. The new Raid Essentials Light Trap plugs into the wall and uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes. Its 24/7 continuous attraction provides insecticide-free protection that's people and pet friendly. Consider air service interrupted. New Raid Essentials Light Trap. Insecticide-free protection.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Will Shakespeare here. Back in my day, I invented over 1,700 slang words like swagger, bedazzled, and my personal favorite, besmirch. But even I have trouble understanding slang words like yeet or bougie or
this is fire.
Actually, it is extremely smooth Shakespeare vodka.
Okay, boomer.
See what I mean? But there is one word that describes the pure quadruple distilled spirit crafted from an 8th century Polish recipe the first time you try it.
So lit.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Shakespeare vodka. So lit.
Well, Mrs. Grayer, nothing on the x-ray that pinpoints the source of the pain. Let's send you to our lumbar expert.
After reviewing the x-rays, I can't see anything wrong. Let's give you a steroid shot for the pain and send you to the lab for some blood work.
Tired of the runaround? How about trying a new approach? The holistic approach.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Arizona offers thousands of helpful resources for service members, veterans, and their families. But navigating the system can be confusing and overwhelming. Call 866-4AZ-VETS to talk directly to caring people professionally trained to help you. Get connected to resources and benefits at no cost. Just call 866-4AZ-VETS now. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the six-pack?
Bingo.
That's what we thought. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. I thought maybe I'd sit down and I haven't sat down and done radio in a lot of years. Probably 7 years. So I'd try it. First off, it's very weird on the camera. Now I'm just like this little head at the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't know.
You don't look comfortable.
I when I'm doing the radio, I like to stand for it, and I don't sit down when I pee. I don't know why I'd sit down when I do radio, which is kind of weird. But I'm going to do this because my legs hurt. Yeah, I was on some blood pressure medication. Again, another one has failed me.
Oh boy!
I poop you not. The first one made me dizzy, and then the next one
gave you the cough.
Gave me the coughs for 3 weeks. 3 weeks after I stopped using it.
Yeah,
and then this next one. My legs look like sausages. Yeah, like I took my sock off and I'm like, whoa,
oh my God,
what is that?
Oh no.
It was like this indentation, and I'm like, that's new. And then I was like, where'd my ankles go? So I had to stop taking that one. And so now I'm waiting and getting something new. But so yeah, my legs are still recovering. So I thought maybe I just sit down for a minute, but it does not feel natural. I'm gonna try it. Let's see what happens. Pizza in a cup sounds amazing, says Parlay J. And then somebody else was pointing out to me, pizza in a cup, man. Pizza in a cup. That was from The Jerk. I just had it on the screen. Whoever texted that in, they're telling me that. They said, yeah, pizza in a cup was from the movie The Jerk. And I guess it turned into a real thing. Listen, I don't mind food gimmicks, but if it's just sauce and cheese and pepperoni in the cup, then it's not pizza. It's some sort of what do you even call that?
I have no idea. It's just it's basically tomato soup.
Yeah, it's like it's pizza soup.
It's just like you put pepperoni and some cheese and tomato soup.
Apologies to whoever sent me the information that it was The Jerk from the movie The Jerk. It was like cup of noodles. It was like cup of pizza. Let's see. Good Cat says, I need barbecue smoker advice. Since Randy's not there today, well, you'll do, Jeffrey. Are pellet smokers worth the price? Well, it depends on what you want to do. It depends on what kind of flavor you want to do. You should wait until Randy's here. He could help you out with this more than me, because I'm just listen, when it comes to gambling, I'm a straight shooter gambler. If I want to sit down and play poker, we're playing cowboy poker. Nothing fancy. I like to just keep everything straightforward and to the point. And so when I grill, I have not yet tried smokers. So you're probably better off waiting on Randy for that advice. Kiss the Cook says, I tried to talk baseball with my wife last night. Okay. How'd that go? I feel like we're being set up for a joke here. Really? Big George says, I think the culprit behind all this sticky stuff in baseball is Buck Showalter. I've never liked him as a manager ever since he tried to tell George Costanza what to do on Seinfeld. That was a made up thing. You know that, right? Anyways, he says, Buck Showalter is, well, he's shady.
What does that have to do with the sticky stuff? Why do you blame him for that?
You know that George Steinbrenner on Seinfeld was played by Larry David, right? That wasn't actually, Steinfeld's not a documentary, right?
You'll surprise a lot of New Yorkers.
Walter Mellon says they should have Snoop Dogg come in. He can tell you if it's sticky, icky, or just sticky. So stupid. Moist One says, yeah, I should get a discount if the lady of the night I'm paying has to make. Okay, stop it. I can't read that. Thundar says, I'm actually kind of happy the Diamondbacks are in first. The Dodgers, my Dodgers, weren't supposed to be that great this year. The Padres spent money to make both the Yankees and the Dodgers blush, and now they're wallowing down in fourth. Poor San Diego. But hey, at least the Padres fans don't have to live in NorCal, so there's that. Yeah, and Thundar, listen, I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again. It wasn't too long ago, the Diamondbacks were 4 games behind the Dodgers, and now the Dodgers they were 4. Now they're 3 games behind the Diamondbacks. Fortunes change pretty quick. This could be a back and forth thing with the Dodgers for the entire season with the Diamondbacks. So, historian wants you to know that John McTammany Jr. patented the player piano in 1881 today.
Huh.
It's creepy when you see those things play. Have you ever seen a player piano play?
The one that plays by itself?
Yeah, that's what a player piano is.
Okay.
And they have like they have the music on this roll, and it has like these dots, kind of like the hanging chads back when we voted in 2000. And the thing rolls, and the little dots that are poked into it tell which keys to go down on the piano. And when that thing goes, it's creepy. It is kind of creepy. I don't know.
It's not a piano, but it's at the Musical Instrument Museum. They have this giant organ thing, and it's got a bunch of instruments on it, and the whole thing
Rasputin
plays itself, and it is creepy.
Can't believe a good Rasputin joke just went right by.
I don't know it.
Look up Rasputin and you'll see why a giant organ joke was in order. The Jet says pizza in a cup is a real thing. Just Google 2 girls in a. Okay, stop it.
See,
Jet.
now stop that
right there. Okay.
Where's the flag?
Yeah, that's a 2 minute. That's a 2 minute penalty. CK also gets a 2 minute penalty for the same gag. Guess I shouldn't use the word gag. Give me. Well, it's too late for that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mars Bars 805 says, "You're welcome, Jeffrey." Oh, it's Mars Bars that said that about the pizza in the cup. And he says, "If you want something sticky, go to the dispensary." Okay, guys, stop it. Sun Devil Raul says, "Steve Martin's character loved that cup of pizza. She had his name tattooed on her leg, under the J's." Big George says, "Wait, Jeffrey, did you say your legs are sausages? That might explain your recent issue with mosquitoes." I don't think they're literally sausages, George. We're really getting off track here.
Yeah, this does start to feel like a Friday show right around this point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. So Kiss the Cook says, "Yeah, I tried to talk baseball with my wife last night." He says, "Yeah, I went 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a single." Just blow the whistle.
Yeah.
Just
this has turned into a segment.
Finding Wampa 2 minutes for the same joke as the other guys.
Wow.
3 people came at us with that one. All right, let's talk about something else.
Good Lord.
I'm kind of bummed out about this. I always have enjoyed when Drake loses money on his stupid bets. Drake is, clown ass Drake. Do you like Drake?
No.
Oh, okay. Does anybody?
All I know is he's very popular. He's sold a lot of music, but I couldn't
identify a Drake song if you played it now.
I could identify them, and I don't like them, and I don't like him.
Do we have any examples, or is he a filthy filth mouth?
I mean, it's rap, so there's probably some in there, but
he looks like a guy I would try not to hang around with at, like, say, a company Christmas party. He looks like a guy I'd probably want to try to avoid.
Yeah, I could see that.
But whenever I hear, what really started it was when in Toronto, he was giving coaches like neck rubs and stuff.
My Drake hate goes back further than that. That didn't help, but
Yeah. Kind of wish he was in that wheelchair. No.
Aubrey.
So he actually he made a lot of money. He won $2 million after the Denver Nuggets won the championship. Yeah. So I guess he put up $243,000 in the Nuggets to beat the Heat 4 games to 1, and he got himself $824,000 for the trouble. He also bet $1 million on the Nuggets to take the entire series, and he got himself $1.2 million. And overall, yeah, it was over $2 million that he got. So, and then earlier in the year in April, he bet on Gervonta Davis to beat Ryan Garcia with a knockout.
Yeah,
he won $1 million.
Damn. I don't like Drake being happy.
I don't like Drake being happy either. Jagdog wants to know, hey, are you supposed to tip a hooker, Jeffrey? I'm asking for a friend. I honestly don't know. I don't know.
They don't exactly post their prices.
I have never partaken. I don't know how that financial dynamic works. I feel like the entire thing is a tip. I don't know.
Go to your computer, go on incognito mode, and you search it.
Yeah, Google that. I'm not Googling that. Random texter says pizza in a cup sounds about as good as steak in a cup. Oh, dear God, steak in a cup would be fine. Because steak doesn't need crust. Pizza needs crust.
Yeah. So unless you can get the pizza with the crust in the cup, which I still think would be odd.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the only way to do it.
Little chunko crust in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mars Bars 805 says happy Whiskey Wednesday and 805 for this Faded Friday type of show right here.
There you go.
He didn't make the 2 girls joke, so we're going to let him have that. The Jet says, I always give a hooker a tip. We're learning a lot more about the fourth dimension right now than I wish we did.
Yeah.
Moist One says, "Are you a player piano key? Because something's telling me to go down on what?
What? Wow. The Moist.
How did you turn that into that? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost done with the hour anyway.
Yeah.
Random Texter says, yeah, 805, you get a hooker. Aren't you supposed to give them more than a tip? Okay. We just have to stop.
I just can't.
We have
this
to
is
stop.
absolute Friday madness.
I'm not reading any more of these. Fighting Wampa says, hey, I'm back on the ice. My 2 minutes are up.
Just in time for the end of the segment.
Yeah. Go back to the locker room. It's the end of this period.
The period's over.
I'll go back to standing. Maybe that was the problem.
Oh my God.
I'll stand for the rest of the show.
Disappointed in so many of you.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised,
longer.
but I am disappointed.
Been here much longer than you.
That's true.
All right, listen, when we come back in the last hour, let's try to clean this up. We'll talk some NFL football, a couple of other little tidbits that need to be talked about. And Big George says, fourth dimension, this is a family show. Let me assure you, this has never been a family show. Ever. Never, ever, never. Hour 3 is up next. It's David Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh, yeah. Love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now, the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest-rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
You could throw your flip-flop at a bug.
Ew, a bug. Get it.
But the chances of actually hitting it
Over there.
are statistically
It's still alive.
unlikely. Good thing nature's got your back. Stem bug killers combine powerful active ingredients found in plants like lemongrass and geraniol and scientifically engineer them into effective bug fighting formulas, safe for use as directed around people, pets, and throughout the home. STEM, rooted in nature, optimized by science.
O'Reilly. When you shop O'Reilly Auto Parts, you'll get the parts you need when you need them. Order online at O'ReillyAuto.com and choose same-day curbside, same-day pickup, or same-day delivery powered by DoorDash. Now available at participating stores near you. Trust the professional parts people to get you the parts you need today. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Next up, straight talk from Doug. Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at StraightTalk.com. Based on most first place rankings, Root Metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 Round Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third
hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, buddy. It's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580 as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And I have, I'm not going to say good news or bad news. I have news. Turns out the PGA Tour Commissioner, Jay Monahan, he is in the hospital. He's recovering from an undisclosed medical situation, they say. And so here's the thing. I can only guess that the undisclosed medical situation will be a rectal cranial inversion. Work it out.
Feel so bad for him.
Yeah, not even a little bit.
Seems a little self-inflicted, probably, though.
Not even a little bit, you know. All right, one more tidbit before we talk about the NFL. We got a lot of NFL sitting here for us. And you like the college football, I think. Don't you there, Ken?
I do. A lot.
And what the hell is up with Georgia not being able to drive well? Listen to the numbers on this. You know, there was that crash back on January 15th. People died. That's very sad. But now it turns out if you go back and you look at the information and numbers, right? Georgia football players were involved in at least 10 reports of traffic-related moving violations in Clark County there since January 15th. Okay. Players have been involved in at least 60 additional moving violations. Okay. That includes speeding, distracted driving, reckless driving, disobeying traffic signs since the beginning of the 2021 year. If you go all the way back to when Kirby Smart showed up as coach, Georgia players have had 300 traffic offenses since he showed up.
Yikes.
I don't know you can blame him, but that is, you know, what the hell is going on in Georgia?
I don't think you can blame him for what the players did specifically, but he is the guy that says, hey, if you get in this kind of trouble, you're not playing. And Kirby Smart has been so desperate to catch Nick Saban, which he's finally done in terms of being able to beat him, win the SEC, win an SEC title, win a national title, that I think maybe he's let some things slide so that he would be able to have, you know, guys available on Saturdays. And that is
bring everybody in. He gave him a talking to.
Sure. But there's a difference between giving somebody a talking to and saying, if you get caught up in this garbage, you are not playing. I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're first string good. You're not playing. That's the only way you're going to get to a college kid that came to your place to play football.
I'm just baffled. I don't know how to even compare this to other programs. This program is under the spotlight, and if somebody looks into it, they find 300 traffic offenses, and within between now and 2015, and just recently, even after people have died, 60 moving violations, and it just I'm very confused by this whole thing.
I don't know if I can compare it to other programs, but I wonder if someone could compare it to what it was before he got there, because before Kirby Smart got there, Mark Richt was the coach, and he was known as being a guy that was a really moral, upstanding guy. He didn't stand.
Well, what is Kirby Smart doing and saying, all right, everybody, good practice, drive them like you stole them? And that's his mantra at the end of every practice?
I don't think he's saying that, but I think that with also the fact that the guys get deals with like car dealerships and stuff, now legally with NIL, but I guarantee you that they were doing it under the table before NIL. That you had guys with fast cars that never had fast cars before that are in their, 19, 20 years old. They're going to make bad decisions if you don't place an emphasis on, we're going to follow the rules around here, because Mark Richt before him, I do not recall this being a problem under Mark Richt. Sure, Mark could not get you to a national title. He's going to win you 10 games a year and then lose disappointingly in the SEC title game. But people were not going to do this kind of stuff, man. And I do think that there is a lack of, control that Kirby Smart is failing to exhibit here.
Just weird. Yeah. I mean, I guess it does have something to do with him. I think people are responsible for themselves.
Because when the police are pulling over a disproportionate number of Georgia players, and those guys are, let's be honest, if you're driving that recklessly, they are avoiding the kinds of trouble that you or I would be in if we were driving that way.
Oh yeah.
And I've had a number of friends cover the SEC, and they'll tell you some of these guys get in trouble and the police pull them over, and the first person they call is the head football coach. So everybody's kind of ahead of the story and ahead of what went wrong, and they're able to hide it. So, if you're not telling the guys to go drive it like they stole it, but if you're not disciplining it either, and again, these guys are 20, and I know I drove like an idiot when I was 20, and I had a Camry. Like I had no business driving the way I was driving. I can't imagine if you gave someone an actually fast car at 20 years old.
I had a muscle car and I was doing donuts in my friend's lawns. I'm not even kidding.
I believe that. That sounds very on brand for you.
It's just because I thought it was funny. I never, I was safe on the road, but I did some things. Can I tell you one thing I did that was really stupid?
What?
I purchased an old mail truck where the steering wheel's on the right side. I painted it white and put black cow spots on it. And I just thought it was the funniest thing. I love driving that thing around, right? So I'm driving down the road and I see a friend of mine, and I'm driving down Gilbert Road, right? And I'm like, hey, you. He goes, hey. And I put my hand out for a high five. But at 30 miles an hour,
yeah, you're going to break a wrist.
That hurts.
Oh, man.
Nothing got broken.
Thankfully.
I think because I slowed down a bit, but I slowed down, but it was enough to where it hurt the head, but stung my hands. And that guy spun around and he fell over some bushes and into some rocks. We're like, let's never do that again. That was dumb. That was really dumb.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I mean, we all do dumb things when we're younger, but that's a lot of dumb. That's a lot of dumb right there for one program.
It's a lot of dumb. And I just think that, like, if you're the head football coach, and this is something that has clearly gone up since you've been the guy in charge, at what point, is it year 2? Is it year 3 where you have this being a problem all the time, where you put your foot down and say, guys, if you drive this way, you're not playing Saturday.
Yeah, that probably does need to happen. And the desperation time is over. Get the AD involved, get the coach involved. Yeah, that's got to stop. Tom says nothing going to happen to Georgia because they're part of the ESPN Darling Squad and money stuff. I think that's what that meant. The SPN Darling Squad. Was it? He's talking about ESPN, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that that's necessarily the issue. I mean, Georgia's making the SEC a ton of money in a lot of ways outside of ESPN. It's the fact that they're winning right now, and that is going to cover up a lot of things.
I just see some sweaty John Goodman before he got thin looking guy, Southerner, sitting there with a fan, he's sweating through his shirt. He's like, well, boys gonna be boys. And that's it. I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, that does sound like a guy from Athens, Georgia. Just saying.
All right, let's talk some NFL now. And we talk about how Drake had made money. Made me sad. It did make me sad. But this whole gambling thing for the NFL is getting kind of weird. The agents are complaining. Well, we were never invited to have some education about, the whole gambling, what you can, what you can't do kind of thing. And they're like, hey, when are you going to bring us in and we can help? And then the players are like, we have no idea what's going on. Nobody's telling us anything. And the rules are right there on what you can and cannot do. It's not that complicated, and it has been made clear. But now it turns out we probably didn't make it clear quick enough. But I guess the word on the street is there is an NFL player who lost $8 million from gambling in 2022. $8 million.
What?
You are not Michael Jordan. What are you doing? I want to know who that is. So
I want to know too, because this is, well, I do think it's odd that we haven't had like rookie symposium stuff on this, but I think you can also tell the difference between the teams that are well run and the ones that aren't. The ones that have multiple guys getting in trouble with this stuff are the ones that clearly didn't think it was important to really sit down and talk to these guys about this very new thing that the league has that you can't be involved in.
All right, let me give you the rules. Here are the rules according to a 2022 version of the NFL rules, the form for this. Okay. And so they say betting and wagering, betting on NFL games or events, never. Participating in illegal gambling, never. Entering or using a sports book, never during the NFL season. Visiting a casino, a horse, or a dog track, that's cool. You can do that on your personal time. But who's running out at halftime and hitting the track? Gambling at the team facility while working remotely or while traveling for NFL games or events? Never. Pretty clear.
Some of this stuff seems like common sense. But yeah, I mean, the league has clearly spelled it out. And, you know, it's up to organizations to inform their players. But I do think the NFL should have kind of seen this coming a little bit.
We are fans. We can gamble whenever we want on anything we want. But you are an NFL player, potentially making millions of dollars. And, you know, the rules on gambling are there for a purpose, to preserve the gambling for the fans so there's no hanky-panky, and to keep you out of trouble, and to keep the broken noses from showing up at your house trying to tell you what you're going to do the next day, if you know what I mean. So these rules exist to protect the NFL players. And, you know, but here's the thing. If you don't know, don't. When in doubt, don't. Don't gamble.
Or ask. Like, if you think to yourself, okay, it's during the season, I don't plan on betting on the NFL, but I'd like to go into a sports book. I'm not sure if I should. Do you think
skip it?
You skip it entirely, but if you're really interested, do you think if you pick up your phone, you know, your head coach is Dan Campbell, you just call Dan and say, Dan, I'm not sure what the rules are on this. He won't find out and tell you?
Listen, the sports books, the gambling entities, they have to protect themselves. They are actively, aggressively trying to protect themselves from any impropriety, which means they are watching like a hawk, and they are going to bust any NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, anybody who plays the sports that are being gambled on. They've got databases. They've got people watching and doing forensics, and in the minute they see anything like that, they act quickly. They have shut down betting lines, like for that college, what was it, baseball, and because coaches were betting on. They're like, oh crap! And so, listen, these entities, NFL players, don't care about you. They care about them, and so they are going to bust you every single time. If you're caught on camera standing next to somebody who's placing a bet, they're going to think they're doing it for you. They're reporting it.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, because I haven't been to a physical sports book, but I know on the apps, you got to have your driver's license when you sign up, and they attach that to an ID number. And your name is on the list of NFL rosters, and your GPS tracked with the app. The app will not let you bet until your GPS is on to make sure you're in a state where gambling is legal, where sports betting is legal, but also B, for exactly this reason.
Be smart. Just don't. Don't gamble. Find something else. You know, I don't know what could be more thrilling than playing in an NFL game.
Yeah, it's.
So what the hell are you doing, man? Yeah, bet on things in the off season if you feel like you just need that in your life. I don't feel sorry for anybody who gets caught at this point.
Yeah, I felt a little bad for Calvin Ridley because I think he was the first guy. But everybody after him, I don't feel bad for.
I kind of believe they don't know. A lot of these guys don't know. My Colts player who bet on a Colts game while playing a Colts game, God save him if he bet against the Colts doing it. But even that, you should know better. If you're savvy enough to start betting, you should be savvy enough to know what you can and can't do. You never heard of Pete Rose, have you? You've never heard of the Chicago White Sox, have you? And then this is the sort of thing. It started to make you think NBA players are probably smarter than football players. We were asking that question earlier on the show. Who in the NBA has been busted for gambling?
I haven't heard any of those reports.
Maybe Silver doesn't care about it, but I know that the sports books care about it.
I know the
And
NBA
it
has
would
a
have been
league policy.
reported.
And if you are, the NBA and the NFL and Major League Baseball for that reason, they all have, relationships with these sports books. The official sports betting partner of the NFL, the NBA. I think DraftKings is for the NBA. FanDuel's for the NFL. Like, it's just you can't do that when they have these relationships, because it's obviously going to raise suspicion, and that's the last thing any of these sports want.
Yeah. Big George says these players need to learn the art of gambling. Horses, greyhounds, go to the track, get your gambling fix there, play some blackjack, roulette, do some poker, stay away from sports books. That's that simple. I say that during the season, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't ever say, hey, you're going to be here tomorrow? You bet. Don't even say that.
I mean,
stay the hell away from all betting if you're an NBA, an athlete during your season.
I know that we make fun of Kyler a lot, but man, if Call of Duty is what you have to do to keep yourself busy, do that. You can't bet on games because of how it looks. And yeah, if you bet on basketball, sure, you might have some fun, but you're opening yourself up to that temptation during the season that you've got this thing where you kind of have a little insider information just looking at you in the face. And if you don't have the self-control, just don't even do it. Just don't even do it.
The Wiz says there was that ASU baseball player in the 80s that got caught. Oh, I didn't know that. Who's that? That's just too bad. Anyway, so there you go. That's enough of that. Well, listen, ain't nothing wrong with gambling for us. We're not players. We can do whatever we want. And I don't care if Jim Nantz is gambling on golf. I don't care if Kenny Albert is gambling on hockey. I don't care if Kevin Harlan with a similar voice is, betting on football. I don't care. Do what you want to do. But if you're playing the sport that people are gambling on, don't do it. Twitty, it says, do people in this day and age still play the puppies? I think he means the greyhounds.
I mean, they're a track, so you have to
we
assume
don't have
someone
one here anymore.
Oh, really?
I think we used to have it. Do we have one?
I don't know.
I think it's that old decrepit thing at the end of I-10. It's kind of haunted looking. So the Wiz. No, I know. Oh, basketball player. It was a basketball player in the 80s that got caught. Yeah, I don't remember that. All right, we have to take a break. When we come back, we're not going to talk gambling. We're talking straight up football. Players and training camp and stuff like that. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Juice Reel, the betting intelligence tool that's making better bettors. Open the App Store and get your hands on Juice Reel. Start betting smarter. Juice, R-E-E-L. Juice Reel. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NHL Stanley Cup Finals Game 5 on Tuesday night, won by the Vegas Golden Knights as they routed the Florida Panthers 9-3 and win the series in 5. For Vegas, first championship in 6 years of existence, and they will go into next season plus 1,300 to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. The betting favorite are the Colorado Avalanche at plus 800, while the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers are both at plus 1,100. Canada has not won the Stanley Cup since 1993. The New Jersey Devils and the Boston Bruins are both plus 1,300. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Next up, Straight Talk from Doug. Ever notice that saying no offense is offensive? Like, no offense, but you're overpaying for your wireless. See? Offensive.
That's the Straight Talk talking. Get unlimited plans as low as $35 a month from Straight Talk on America's most reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart and Walmart.com. On the $35 plan, first 10 gigabytes data at high speed, then 2G speeds. Refer to the latest terms at straighttalk.com based on most first place rankings, root metrics, second half 2022 assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement.
Hello, everyone. Desert Equity Lending is back again with a mortgage product that we have all been waiting for. We are excited to offer once again the no document loan that we all remember from years ago. That's right. It's a true no document loan. Remember when stated income loans were available? They were the most popular mortgages available for self-employed, as well as for those borrowers that couldn't quite show enough income to qualify using regular underwriting guidelines. This new no doc loan is changing the way people get approved for a mortgage. Listen to this. No income, no problem. No tax returns, no problem. It doesn't take perfect credit to qualify either. If you have a good down payment and decent credit, you need to call now. These mortgages are being approved for primary residence as well as a second home. We are doing it the old-fashioned way. We use common sense underwriting to approve what other banks walk away from. Call 602-509-3000 to talk with a real person that can get you answers in hours, not days. That's 602-509-3000. Make the call. You will be glad you did. Desert Equity Lending. Desert Equity Lending, MB 0906989, NMLS 1733369. Conditions and restrictions apply.
Now that the draft is in the books, it's that time of the season when the team gets together, you know, to get acquainted.
Let's go. Practice time.
Summer means mini camps, OTAs, then it's on to preseason. Keep yourself tuned to the station with all the insight, updates, and breaking news when you need to know about the NFL offseason. Remember, if it's the NFL, we talk about it. Your home for NFL news, games, playoffs, and Super Bowl in the Valley. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Oh God, I'm caught in some sort of weird sports hell right now.
Uh-oh.
On the TV screens, I just wasn't paying attention. I look up, one screen had cornhole on it. The other screen had a Yankees game. I'm like, and then I changed it. And then like one of the channels has Republicans versus Democrats playing softball. I'm like, good God. Is it, there's no,
They televise that?
I suppose, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going to turn off the damn TVs in here, I guess. I don't pay that much attention to them during the show anyway. Navy Brad wants you to know there was a dog track off of Washington. It's been torn down. The old rundown track at Highway 10, that's been torn down too. All right, so that answers the question, Keon. There is no dog racing in Arizona at this time, but I do remember a time hearing ads for the Greyhounds.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know. Seemed kind of dumb. I love dogs. I don't know. Don't make them work for a living. Just give them that bunny. Just give them the toy. You know,
just let them play.
All right, let's talk football. JJ Watt, he's just the coolest guy. You gotta love JJ Watt. And of course, now he's going to get inducted into the Texans Ring of Honor this season. They're already jumping on this. And like, hey, you want to do a day contract and retire a Texan? He's like, no, not really. He says, as far as that, I don't understand that. He says, I don't really understand or see the reason for it. It's just more ceremonial, it's just a piece of paper, you know. He said, I'm thrilled to be in the Ring of Honor, and all that comes with that is enough. He says, they've done a first class, job of everything they're doing for me over there. So don't see the need to sign. He's like, I haven't even finished filling out my retirement paperwork right now. So it's like, why do I want more paperwork? Just a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's cool.
That.
Yeah, I just think, if it's that important to you, I guess you can go ahead and do it. But to me, I will always think of JJ Watt as a Texan. That was most of his career, and those were his prime years.
Yeah. No, I don't care where he retires.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great player. I was happy to see him here in Arizona for a couple of years. And that's all good.
And the way he went out as a Cardinal is legendary. I will always respect him for, that the team wasn't any good in that game.
He played his damn heart out.
Yeah. And he didn't have to. He could have mailed it in.
Yep. By the way, we still have no idea. There's no timetable. There's no calendar. There's no date. And this kind of leans more towards my suspicions that you may never see Kyler Murray play as an Arizona Cardinal again. They have no idea. Oh, we're just not worried about it. Don't worry. Well, when's Kyler coming back? Yeah, don't worry about it. We got David Blau. We got Clayton Tune. We got Jeff Driscoll. We got Colt McCoy. We got everything we need here. Don't worry about that. I don't think you're going to hear anything about it. I mean, the Cardinals want that timetable to take as long as possible. Kyler Murray should want that timetable to take as long as possible. Okay, follow the bouncing ball. Kyler Murray makes a lot of money for doing nothing. The Arizona Cardinals preserve what they're hoping they can try to get a lot of money for, or at least get out from under that contract when they trade him, when inevitably they get the first pick in the next draft. All the way around, neither the Cardinals nor Kyler Murray are going to be in a hurry to have Kyler Murray play a football game.
And I think even if Kyler were to really want to come back, I think he should still take his time and rehab as much as possible so that he can, so that his basically, if you know, for him, his strength is that, look, I am fully healthy now. And that's going to give him more options of where he wants to go if the Cardinals allow him to be involved in where his landing spot is. I mean, it gives him more options.
There's a reason they have a crap ton of quarterbacks sitting there right now. And there's also a reason they don't have any one of them that's any real good. Yeah, I get it. Colt McCoy has done great as a backup.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. It ain't going to be W's.
He's a backup for a reason.
It ain't going to be W's. Heavy Metal Maniac says, hey, if somebody really wants to bet on the dogs, there are some sports bars that carry closed caption TV and dog races from other states. That brings me to this question. What language do the dogs talk in that they need closed captioning?
Wait,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if that was something, I want to get a camera on my dog when he barks, and I want
just get the Google Translator.
Yeah, I want to know what the hell he's saying.
So you can speak, buddy.
That's right. Navy Brad says the writing's on the wall for the Cardinals. Complete tanking. Clay Nigma, that's a new one for me. Clay Nigma. Let's see. And yeah, I guess I was out of town when this guy showed up. Clay Nigma. I like that. He says Greyhound racing has been banned throughout the entire United States. The very last track was located in Florida. It recently closed. See, I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
Got a bunch of unemployed greyhounds now, which is fine. Let them go be puppies. Just let them be good puppies. That's a good boy. Heavy Metal Maniac says, I meant closed circuit TV, but that's still pretty funny. Well, that makes more sense than closed caption. Bark, 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 bark. The guy who types that just copying and pasting, So Isaiah Simmons, well, you're lucky that he's still around. And Isaiah Simmons is saying, hey, I'm working on becoming a master defensive back, and like he's a guy who could play different positions, but he says, that's fine, whatever. He says, but I'd like to master defensive back before I dive into playing, with the outside linebackers or whatever else might come about. I just want to be a master of at least everything in the secondary before I go out to other places. And that's good. But that also gives you the idea that somebody's been rumbling about giving him something else to do out there. Cardinals declined their option for his contract for 2024, which means he's going to be probably laying it up a little bit, trying not to get hurt for free agency. But you got to look good, but you also got to get not injured.
Yeah. And I also do think that if he might end up being a free agent, there is something to be said about versatility, but having a role that you're good at might actually help, as opposed to having you be a person where teams are like, he's really athletic, but I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do with him.
Yep. I guess we'll see. By the way, my team, Daniel Scott, man, that's a shame. He was drafted 158th overall in the 5th round by the Colts. He's a rookie safety, and now he is out with a torn ACL. Yeah, the anterior cruciate ligament, and that's it for his season. He will not even get to have his rookie season. It makes me very, very sad for that kid. But that's part of it. These things do happen in practice as much as they happen in a game. That's just the way, it's the way it goes when you're playing football. Just really feel for Daniel Scott. And that leads me to the next thing. Another Colt is looking at his future saying, Jonathan Taylor. he's right on page with Najee Harris, who says, yeah, it's kind of eye-opening out here seeing how the NFL values the running back position. Najee Harris was saying to see people like Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, maybe Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard. It's like, these are the kind of people who could get released. He says, it's like, damn, what did they do? He's like, is it because they're getting too old? Yeah. Dalvin Cook is coming off multiple 1,000-yard seasons. He's like, I don't get it. Is it money from the team? I mean, they got to pay somebody. He says, I don't know, but it's eye-opening for sure. And he says the position is an art to me. And it's kind of crazy not to put a higher value on the players who run the ball, can catch the ball, protect the quarterback. It's a good point, Najee. It's a good point. Now, Jonathan Haylor is walking in with his extension talks. He kind of look around going, oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
This is not – he says, hopefully they get to see the value here. And, he's working his way back from a little surgery he had in the offseason. But, he's done well for the Colts. He's a great fantasy football running back. And he's going to get treated the same way.
Yeah. And unfortunately for these guys, the one name that they didn't mention is Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley's somebody that the Rams saw a lot of potential and promise in. They paid him before it was time because they wanted to reward him for, the incredible rookie season he had. They're just, let's lock this guy up. Let's not let him leave. And then he had a knee injury and he was never the same after that. And what did people say for years and years after? Oh, the Rams are so stupid. How could they pay Todd Gurley all that money so soon? And the contract was a bad contract because of the knee injury, but it did, I think, affect the running back market to where teams just got really, really gun shy about putting that kind of money towards even really great running backs, especially if you could get your passing game to let you get away with average.
What if now the running back position, if you got a good one, oh my God, you got something there, right? You got a guy who can catch, a guy who can run, a guy who can block. That's a huge part of your offense. Okay. Let's just say they made a new rule in the NFL they for the running back position and says, here's what we're going to call running back insurance, meaning that if you're running back who you've given a big contract to, so these guys get appropriately paid, the people aren't afraid to pay them. Because I didn't think the Todd Gurley contract was dumb. It's only dumb in hindsight.
Yeah, that's the thing. People were looking at it in hindsight and saying it was impossibly stupid, even though this is what the Rams have done for every other position. They pay the guys before it's time to make sure that they have that person locked up.
So the gamble should be on the team. And here's what I mean by running back insurance. So you paid Todd Gurley. Oh my God, he's out. We're screwed. Then that amount of money you have to pay him should not be held against you on the cap. So you can get another running back in there. You think that would be something that could work? Then everybody's going to want it for every position. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I maybe, and everyone's going to want it for every position, but there's an argument that it shouldn't happen for every position because the running backs really get one big payday and then they're done.
They're disposable.
And it sucks because these guys work just as hard as everybody else out there and they have multiple responsibilities. What they have to know in an offense, is comparable to what a quarterback needs to know and what a tight end needs to know and what a center needs to know. Like they have to know a whole lot because they are, at least in today's NFL, being used in a variety of different ways.
Yeah. So I don't know what the real answer here is, but I feel bad for the running backs,
Yeah.
They're expected to give everything and then they end up with nothing.
And people and it's a lot of the analytics of how you spend your salary cap and stuff like that too, where people will tell you, if you pay a running back, how could you be so dumb? When you just draft a replacement, it's cheaper. Or, the Lions were hammered for drafting Jahmyr Gibbs early in the first round, which would have never happened 15 years ago. Jahmyr Gibbs is an awesome running back. I think he's going to be great for the Lions. But the fact that they didn't wait until the late first, early second, people thought that was an insanely stupid move, even though Jahmyr Gibbs is great. So I just don't know. I think your idea has some merit to it because we got to do something for these guys. They are working as hard and their careers are shorter and they are just getting hosed.
It's easier to pay them if there is something that happens and it doesn't count against your cap. That I think would really help. By the way, when did Jahan Dotson become a quarterback coach? He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson got himself in front of a microphone. Hell, that was a good idea. He says, "Hey, I think we got our quarterback situation settled. I think Sam Howell's going to be our guy." Ron Rivera is so pissed off right now.
Why did you say that? Yeah.
What are you doing, man? But I get it. He was on the Jim Rome show, and he's probably feeling his oats there a little bit. But Jim Rome did ask him, "So where are you guys with? Sam Howell, Jacoby Brissett?" And he just pops off and says that. He says, "Oh yeah. Howell makes these super effortless looking throws in the field. He's a great leader. He's learning how to lead in the NFL offense. And oh yeah, I can't wait to make plays for him." Dude, nobody has made the decision yet. Have they?
Ron Rivera has been abundantly clear that even though it is Sam's job to lose, he can lose it. Ron is not giving him the job. So no one's made a decision yet. But they do like him. Like the way that he carries himself in that building, they love that. The way that he is able to make all the throws and he's got a big arm. I mean, it's pretty clear to everybody. Like, okay, this dude is making some throws that Taylor Heineke, God bless him, he couldn't make them. and that's the kind of stuff that gets people excited in that building. And so, yeah, I can understand getting a little carried away. He's a second-year player, Jahan
Doghouse Dotson. That's his nickname now, Doghouse.
I can promise you that Ron is not thrilled to hear that.
I almost drove off the road when I heard that. I was like, really? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, they're now putting dates on when your hellish nightmare should end. They're saying the Commander's sale could happen, the meeting for the vote on the sale could happen between July 20th and August 8th.
Okay.
So they're saying that's the window when they could have the vote on that.
I don't know. I'm going to try to not actually glide into work.
Who's voting no?
Nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
Dan Snyder is unanimously hated in this league by everyone except maybe Jerry Jones. And even Jerry at the end was like, yeah, it's kind of, he's got more scandals than me. I don't know if we can defend him.
Yeah, but that's probably why he will vote against it, because he's going to be like, Dan Snyder at this point wants the money, so why would he get the way
Dan did sell the team, and the thing is that no one's going to vote no because this is exactly the way they wanted Dan out. If he leaves, we don't force him. He has to sell, and they got that.
It's got to happen because the Commanders haven't had an 11-win season since 1991.
I'm aware.
It's the longest streak in the NFL. Who has the second longest streak? Do you know? Off the top of your head. Just go take a guess.
Detroit
Jaguars. They have they have not
I've seen
an 11
few
game season since 2007.
I've seen a few 10 wins for Washington in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Just no 11s. No 11s. Not since I've been a fan.
So the Commandos, they've only had double-digit wins 3 times in the last 32 years.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you?
33.
Since you've been alive, 99, 05, and 12. Robert Griffin III was your man.
Yeah, and that
Rookie
year,
season.
that year is always going to be special to me because it came out of nowhere too. I don't think anybody even saw that coming. And I remember 05. They went to the playoffs and lost to Seattle.
Your team does not suck, but your team this year is not an 11-win team.
No.
Your hellish nightmare on this end will continue.
They're not an 11-win team, but I'm not expecting 11 wins out of them. Just win enough games so that they don't fire Ron. That's my only goal right now because I like that dude and I want him to still be the coach.
Twitty, it says Jerry Jones doesn't hate Dan Snyder. He just likes all the other owners a whole lot more. Well, what's really true is Jerry Jones doesn't hate Dan Snyder. He loves money.
Yeah. And also Dan Snyder took some of his embezzled money and bought a giant ass yacht. And Jerry Jones was one of the dudes partying it up with Dan on the yacht. So, I don't think he hates him that much.
Which is funny because one of the dudes that he embezzled that money from was Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Yeah.
He's like, I got enough money. Woo! You got a yacht. Okay, let's just move. We're going to take a break. We've got on this date in Big Georgia sports history, a little more NFL for you. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Remember when you could go to the doctor and actually leave feeling better? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Katz. The problem with our healthcare system is the focus on the system and not on your healthcare. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum healthcare using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men and women's health. We help people find relief when other doctors have failed. Our naturopathic doctors can restore your pain-free life using cutting-edge regenerative treatments. We can also help restore balance to your immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. Addressing your cause can also improve both mental and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working for you, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call us. We're the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, Arizona at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161 or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
When life gets overwhelming, but you just don't feel like talking, help is only a text away. Trained and caring crisis specialists are available by text 24/7 to assist with suicidal thoughts, substance use issues, depression, anxiety, and more. You are never alone. When you need help, please text HOPE to 4HOPE. From anywhere in Arizona, text the word HOPE to 44673. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
This is Brent Musburger. Don't miss Pro Football Blitz, Saturday afternoons, right here on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
I forget who does this song. It sounds like country music to me. I've always been suspicious. Randy's not here, so tell me who it is.
It's Hailstorm.
The hell's Hailstorm?
I will have to look that up. I don't know. Doesn't sound like country.
Yeah, it's a little bit of twang to it to me. Yeah, I got the reason I'm a little sensitive to that right now, and I have somebody who agrees with me, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Joe Burrow. He is exactly like me when it comes to the country music. Joe Burrow was asked about what kind of music you listen to, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I listen to a little bit of everything. I like all of it." And he lists off a bunch of different songs. Oh yeah, I just not into country music. No country music, please. I'll listen to anything but country music. I'm like, that's me too. I also don't want anything to do with country music. I'm sure my reason being trapped in the back of a smoke-filled car as my dad drove down the road, the windows up, smoking cigarettes with us kids in the back. Yeah, I'm sure that probably didn't play well into me ever liking country music. But yeah. So I just, I always get like the face when I say I don't like country music. I just don't. And I'm not, hey, you go ahead.
You're not going to get the face from me.
You go, you enjoy. Go to your festival out there in the dusty field and listen to your music. God bless you. Whatever. But I just, dear God, there's two things I don't like: when cigarette smoke wafts over, and and when country music wafts over. Kind of the same thing for me. And that's just me, you know. And it's weird because back in the day, I would go into smoke-filled comedy clubs, never even blinked. That's because I was still young, and you know, it was easy because I was in a smoke-filled car all the damn time when I was a kid. I can be in a smoke-filled comedy club and it never even affected me. Well, now there's no smoking anywhere. I'm fine, and I'm now sort of sensitized, I guess, to it. And so hearing Joe Burrow say that for me, I'm going to read the comments because what is interesting about this is somebody says, they're like, hey, speaking from experience, the problem here is Joe Burrow's listening to the wrong country music.
They all say that. Country
and Western. They're both the wrong country music. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't do it.
They all say that. I can think of maybe 2 country music songs that I can tolerate.
I can't.
It's
I like who I do like though, and I can forgive him because he toured with Elvis Presley. It was more of a rockabilly, not a country music. It was the early stuff from the Man in Black, whose name eludes me at the moment.
Johnny Cash.
Thank you. Thank you. See, that's how much I try to distance myself. And another guy on the comment says, lots of people hating on country music. Thanks, Joe Burrow. Well, I don't think anybody's hating on country music because of Joe Burrow. It's just the conversation started, and that's where they jumped in.
Yeah. And if you're somebody who hates country music, and then you find out, hey, look, there's a person that's pretty noteworthy that also hates it too. Yeah, you might come out and support that.
Well, so this guy is like, all you got to do is get a Spotify playlist, and you base that on Should Have Been a Cowboy and block Toby Keith from ever being played. I don't know what any of that means, but that's not going to do it for me. I'm not listening.
I don't think that, country music's fine except Toby Keith. I'm pretty sure if you don't like country music, it goes a little bit broader than that.
So Blissful Hayes and Twittiot both jumped up to tell me the exact same sentence. Hailstorm is definitely not country.
Yeah, I looked it up here, and they're in the rock heavy metal range.
Lizzie Hale is a badass singer, says Blissful Hayes. And Twittiot says, check out their videos. All right, well, just that's the way that kind of had like a, I don't know, kind of made me, all right, I'm glad it's not. Yeah, I mean, Randy would never do that to me.
Both rock music and country music kind of came away from the blues, so there are going to be some similar riffs in there. But
I do love the blues.
Yeah, the blues is great.
In my vehicle, you want to hear what's on my presets for the satellite radio? Is in my presets I've got 40s music. Yeah, that cool old 40s music, and the blues channel, BB King Blues channel.
Oh, nice.
So if I can't find anything on the rock alternative stuff, I go to really, really deep alternative, which is music from the 40s or blues music. I enjoy it a lot. Boomer Sooner says, holy crap, Jeffrey, those two things were exactly mine. Cigarette smoke floating over and country music. Unbelievable. Yeah, man, that was just the time that we grew up in there. But Joe Burrow, also another controversial thing he says, I don't think there's any argument. The best quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Dude's a year older than you. What?
No, Joe, the way I read some of the quotes from him, and the way that I understood that was that Patrick Mahomes has the target on his back for Joe Burrow. That's the dude he wants to catch. He's got more success. He's won more Super Bowls. And Joe is like, I am good enough to have exactly what he has, and why don't I have it?
Makes sense. He says, I don't think there's any argument right now. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. Until somebody has a better year than he's had, he's the one to knock off. So that, you're right. Mm-hmm. That is that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm all right with.
He's admitting that Patrick's had more success. He's not saying I'm better, but he's like, I'm capable of that.
All right. Yeah, you keep going, Macaulay Culkin. You keep going. I believe in you, kid. Have we figured out the hell is going on with Stephon Diggs thing yet? Has that even come into any kind of clarity? Because now Sean McDermott's like, oh no, everything's fine. He's done everything we've asked of him. There's a lot of things there that aren't accurate. They're like, yeah, but you said yesterday you were very concerned. Oh, I'm always concerned if somebody doesn't show up to practice. Everything's
stop it.
fine. No, he's great. Let me be clear. He was here Monday. He did his physical, and then Tuesday with the meetings. We thought, you know what? Yeah, we need a little space there. How about some space? Why don't you go ahead and take that space?
We still don't know exactly what's going on there, but I did see a report that over the last few days on social media, Stephon Diggs was expressing some his displeasure with the Bills organization.
With what part of it, though?
That I don't know. I didn't get to see the posts. I don't know that he left them up.
He's probably mad about something in the cafeteria.
Maybe.
Watch it be that stupid. Well, until we find out, don't know. So, by the way, over there with the Bills, Josh Allen, he's on the cover of Madden, and they released the photo, and I don't know, this is not how his face mask is supposed to look.
Oh, with just a huge segment of it just not being there at all?
Yeah, I think they photoshopped that out so you could see his smile or something. That just looks dumb.
Yeah, I mean, they've got part of it photoshopped out. Just finish the rest of it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have noticed if they didn't leave part of it in there.
EA Sports, you're $1 billion company. Do better.
They're lazy lately. Like the last couple of Maddens. Come on, guys. Come on.
Oh, crap. Where's my cup? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1998, Michael Jordan took over the decisive Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Utah Jazz in the final minute, leading the Chicago Bulls from a 3-point deficit to an 87-86 victory at the Delta Center. It was the Bulls' second three-peat and sixth championship of the decade. Michael Jordan was named the NBA Finals Series Most Valuable Player for the sixth time in his career. Talk to me, Jeffrey. We've spent too much time arguing over who's the GOAT. How can you just... All right, in the era, but even outside of the era, come on, LeBron, shut the bleep up. You're not the GOAT.
LeBron is supposed to say that he is. I mean, I don't have a problem with the guy looking at the record books and going, look who owns all of these. But we look at the titles. That's where it ultimately ends. And Jordan, it wasn't that Jordan won a bunch of titles, because to me that's so reductive of how the game of basketball is played. It's how he won them to me, and that really, LeBron. The Cleveland title in 2018 was his greatest, but Jordan's got a bunch of them that are the way he had to play to win, that were that clutch against opponents that were that great. To me, it's Jordan.
I just realized every day that Randy hasn't been here, he's actually been here, right there over my shoulder. See that? I'm picking his nose now on the camera. We've had this cutout of Randy. I don't know why.
When did it get here?
You know why? So what it is I had a picture of Randy White, and I blew it up and I made it and put it on the back of a little carton thing here. You can see it behind me. I think that goes back even way before COVID. I think it is because when we used to have the camera set up in here, there was a camera over there that shot both of us, and I didn't have the little mirror thing yet, so I just put his face here so he could at least be on the camera with us. That's what it was.
Gotcha.
But through everything that has happened over the years, that has always stuck around, and anybody tries to get rid of it, I'll fire them. And, so it has haunted quite a few hosts on this radio station. So that's cool. Good. Randy was on the show. Twitty, it says Blues Clues is the best. What is he talking about? Does Hailstorm do the Blues Clues theme or something?
Yeah, you've lost me. I have no idea.
Kobe Bryant makes more of a case. All right, we don't have enough time for this fight. Although Kobe Bryant, this was an interesting story. I guess back in the day, he was actually thinking, I might go play for the Grizzlies. And then Jerry West grabbed him by the collar. He prison girlfriend slapped him and said, "What are you talking about?" And thank God, because you imagine, I don't know. What would have happened if he ended up on the Grizzlies?
I have no clue. When Kobe Bryant was a free agent, the two teams that I remember being reported that he, visited and talked to were the Clippers and the Bulls. I never heard about the Grizzlies until Jerry West mentioned it the other day.
Jerry West is still alive too. That's also remarkable.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
Oh man.
I don't know if we have time on the show for you to Google it, but he's extreme. He's got to be mid 80s.
He's 85.
No, I nailed it.
On the dot.
Good guess. But yeah, he's like, yeah, he became a free agent and he called up Jerry West and they're like, yeah. He's like, are you kidding me? No, Kobe, no. And he's like,
it's like, why would you leave the organization that will literally try to go out and get you any player you need to help you win? Not every organization can guarantee that.
I just love, because I think the slapping around is assumed.
Yeah.
Because if Kobe looked up to Jerry West that well, I'm pretty sure he could grab him by the collar and slap the bleep out of him. But he did with his words. He's like, no, Kobe, no. Get off the couch. No.
The Grizzlies. Oh, man.
The Tom says, oh, Lord, Kobe and Big Country on the Grizz. Yikes.
I mean, that would have been scary. That's true. That's true.
You never know what might have been. Kobe was thinking about going to the Clippers because he was sick of Shaq's crap in 2004.
Yeah.
Then Shaq went to the Heat. So he's like, I'll stay.
Yeah. I mean, the Lakers chose Kobe over Shaq. Seems like a wise decision.
Kobe tried to go to the Bulls in 2007. They're like, no. Jerry West, no. Listen, everybody. No, cigarettes will get you. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Next up, Straight Talk from Doug.